Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists, episode 510. My name is Kyle.
My name is James.
And my name is Zach.
And we're here to talk about movies, movie lists, and movie obsession for the next hour or so. James, Zach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
Kyle.
Did you all have a nice Christmas?
Oh, yeah. It was a Christmas dragged out across like 4 days.
Why was
Your
it dragged
Christmas
out?
is still ongoing, isn't it?
Well, we finally opened the rest of the presents today.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, so now at least all presents are open.
You had so many presents, you had to drag it out over 4 days. Just
Yes,
stamina-wise.
for sure.
You couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, plus like kids would get distracted and instead of pressuring them to open presents, we would just roll with it.
Interesting. They're going
And
to
you
grow
have a
up
house
thinking...
full of people right now, too,
Yes.
outside of
Yeah,
just your
sure.
immediate family.
We have 4 family members staying with us and 2 dogs.
That's a lot of people.
We got a full house. It's a lot of festive Christmas energy.
Did you get anything good movie related as a present?
I did get movie related things as presents, yes. But just from you two. No. From my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law gave me Jurassic Park quadrilogy on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Nice.
And then she gave me 6 kind of random Blu-rays, like Hop and Anchorman 2. I think she got them on a free site on Facebook. One of them, she's like, definitely sell that. I was like, okay.
Get rid of that.
Yeah. And then Kyle, you got me Tomb Raider on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And because I'm such a big fan of Weird Al, you got me a Weird Al coloring book.
Because nothing says Weird Al music like coloring it in.
For sure.
I didn't know.
I didn't want to tell you this before, but I already have this coloring book
Oh, really?
because I'm a big fan.
Well, I meant to get you volume 2, but I thought we'd start with the first one just to get
Yeah.
your feet wet.
No, I get that.
I didn't even know Weird Al had a coloring book.
Well, I think
But-
everyone has got a coloring book at this point. I have a coloring book.
Yeah.
James, do you have a coloring book yet?
I mean, I own a coloring book. I don't have one that's based on me or anything I've created, if that's what you're saying.
I recommend it.
I imagine James' coloring book would be 20 pages of just his head. They're exactly the same. And you just color the hat different on each page.
That's exactly what it would be.
Yep. And this one, the hat's gray.
And then James sent me some Blu-rays as well. He gave me a Zoolander Steelbook.
Yeah.
And Neverending Story on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Did you
Which
have
is
that
fantastic.
one? I couldn't.
I did not.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I did not. I have the Neverending Story 2 2-pack on DVD.
Ah.
So very excited to get the Blu-ray on that one.
James also sent me some Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I also got the Zoolander Steelbook. Was that like a 2-for-1 sale?
It was a 3-for-1. I have one
Oh.
now.
Nice. And you also got me The Orphanage, a top 100 movie. So thank you. Add that to the collection. And Brooklyn, which is a movie I've never seen.
Oh, you're going to like it.
Now I have an excuse to watch it. Or I have no excuse not to watch it. We could say that.
Watch that one with your lady friend. Sure. She'll enjoy it as well.
My lady friend liked it. My wife liked it. There's a bad joke in there somewhere.
Yeah,
But my
probably.
girlfriend hated it.
Probably. I got some Blu-rays as well. What did I get? I got the Steve McQueen collection, which I think is like 4 or 5 movies on
Great.
Blu-ray, which is awesome.
I like Steve McQueen.
And I got Hook.
Cars.
Yeah, Cars. Exactly. I got
Cars 2. Cars 2.
No, it's
No,
like
that's
the Sand Pebbles is one of them.
Oh, you got the Sand Pebbles.
Magnificent Seven is
Mhm.
in there. The
Great
Great
Escape?
Escape.
Oh, Bullet.
And-
Is that in there?
At least 2 more. I don't think. No, Bullet is in there.
Okay, good.
Maybe there's 6 movies in there. I don't remember. I don't have it with me. But there's one that's like just one word, and it's not bullet. It's something else. Doesn't matter. So I got that. I got a Hook on 4K, Steven Spielberg movie, so I can make that upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K. And then there's one more that I'm forgetting. Somebody gave me that I don't remember what it is. Oh, Mystery Men on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Which I did not have, despite the poster that I own.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I finally got Clockwork Orange on 4K,
Nice.
so it's officially mine.
Sure.
My parents have Some Like It Hot on 4K on order for me, so I'll get that in the next month or so.
I didn't even know that was on 4K.
I got a picture of the 4K, and they said it'll be here in February or something.
I love how like
Oh, so
all
they
your presents are on
pre-ordered it.
credit.
Oh, but my parents notoriously order things, and if they're late, they just print a picture of it and put it in an envelope and say, "This is on its way for you." So this is many years I received just an envelope with a color printed picture of the gift on the inside. So I'm fine with
That's
that.
great.
But
That's great.
maybe the most exciting movie gift I got was Fast and Furious, the board game.
Okay.
Now, you may snicker, James, but
I
Megan and I
I
did
may
snicker.
and did. Yes.
Megan and I played it last night, and it is super fun, and it totally captures the ridiculous essence of the movies.
I don't know how that's possible, but
All right, so here I'll just give you one little taste. I'm not getting into the
Okay.
whole game.
Okay.
In the game, your character, because you can choose one of the movie characters to play,
Mhm.
cannot die. If your car gets destroyed, you just jump to the next closest car.
Okay.
You can't die. It is impossible to die in that game.
I
And
mean,
that-
I don't know
that
too many
makes
board
sense.
games where you do die. So
Yeah, how many games is like, oh, sorry, you're ejected from the game midway through?
Jaws, the game, in part 2, the shark can definitely eat you, and then you're out of the game for good.
Isn't that a cooperative game?
Jaws
It
2, the
is.
board game.
No, Jaws, the board game is in 2 parts. Part 1 is the island where you've got the 3 main characters tracking the shark,
Mhm.
and then part 2 you're on the orca and the shark the shark is attacking the orca, and in that part you can die
You can die.
as one of the main characters. Yep.
Are you not
Nice.
allowed to help anymore with the collaborative effort?
In which part?
Like, can you in Jaws 2, after you die, can you still strategize with the other players?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk to them, yeah.
Okay,
but
so
you-
you're not ejected from the game.
You're not ejected
still,
from the game, but you can't play a character anymore. You can just talk it out with the rest of them.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
I just found it very fitting that in Fast and Furious, you cannot die. If your car gets destroyed, you just jump to the next closest car. Because
People die in Fast and Furious movies.
Hmm?
People die in the Fast and Furious movies.
not no the only
Han died.
no, he's back. Gal Gadot's character is the only one who was on the crew who has died, who has not come back yet.
Okay.
And then obviously Paul Walker in real life is dead, but in the
Yeah.
movie, Brian O'Connor is still alive.
Han came back to life. I thought it was like prequel, and that's how they brought him back.
No, he
Really, James?
he came. So
I don't remember this. I know we
Han-
watched Fast and Furious 9 this year, but I don't remember what happened in that movie. So.
Han's in Tokyo Drift, which is number 3, and because he was so popular, the filmmakers decided to set 4, 5, and 6 before Tokyo Drift, so they can include Han in 4, 5, and 6, because he dies at the end of Tokyo Drift,
Okay.
and then
But
they
he
brought
doesn't.
him back in 9 because he's not really dead. Spoiler for people who haven't seen Fast 9 yet.
Gotcha.
Thanks for backloading that spoiler alert.
No
Yeah.
problem.
All right. Cool. So the Fast and Furious board game is a recommend from you.
I found it fun. Megan found it fun. Yes. We're also fans, so that could
Sure.
color our opinion, but it was an actually fun game to play.
All right. Awesome. Very cool. I had like a movie light year for some reason. I don't know why.
Gift wise or just in general?
In general, I guess. I don't know what in general means, but yes, in general.
Are we doing hangover talk already?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. We got a couple weeks left on that.
Good.
All right. Well, let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into our movie for this week. Don't forget, there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Cinereelists, REEL with an S on the end. You could support us on a Patreon as well at patreon.com/Cinereelists. Get special after show audio. You could leave us an Apple Podcast review, 5 stars only. Leave a text for your review on Apple Podcasts, and we will read it and discuss it on the podcast. And you could also send us a listener email to heyguys@cinereelist.com, REEL with an S on the end. Send us a comment, a question, a list suggestion, a movie suggestion, any of those kinds of things, and we will read and discuss that as well on the podcast. We've got a couple of emails this week. The first one is from listener Troy, and Zach has that email for us.
Troy wrote in, okay, I'm Team Zach on this one. And the subject of his email is world-class tennis.
Oh my gosh, this
it's
again.
Still going on.
A movie pet peeve of mine is watching a sports movie and it doesn't look like the athletes are as good as they're supposed to be. This is painfully obvious in a lot of hockey movies, which is one of the many reasons why I love Miracle from 2004 with Kurt Russell. They worked hard on that movie to make it look realistic. Kyle and James, there may have even been a backhand slap shot through the legs.
Everyone knows that Mark Johnson beat the Russians with a backhand slap shot through the legs while making the flying V and saying quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
In slow
quack.
motion. So far we've had one listener, Team James, and one listener, Team Zach. Kyle, have you seen this movie yet, King Richard?
I have not seen King Richard yet.
If you catch up on it, and it's so easy to watch. It's very light and enjoyable. We'd love for you to weigh in on the debate.
I will say that there is a stronger chance that I will watch it if it gets some Oscar nods.
Okay.
I don't
Will
think,
Smith
I
might
don't
get
think
an
it's going to
acting
do
nod.
that.
You don't think so?
I mean, Will Smith has the best chance of that happening, but I don't think he has a super strong chance of that happening. But maybe.
I mean, apparently the crappy tennis playing is not going to get anyone an Oscar nod, so.
Sure. If there was an Oscar for tennis recreation on film, I don't think that's the point of this movie, but if
I
there was
think
an
it would
Oscar
win.
for it, maybe it wouldn't win.
Just for the lack of competition, I think it would win.
If Andy Serkis can't get an Oscar, then crappy tennis can't get an Oscar either.
Right.
Troy also included his last 10 top 10. His number 10 was Gigi. He gave 2 stars.
Okay.
Single All the Way was his number 9. Broadway Melody, Old Henry, Force Majeure. He says, I'm going to have to look for an episode where you guys talk about this. I was shocked to see it listed as a comedy despite the crying scene. It was definitely engrossing, though. We did talk about it, so hopefully you can find it. I think it was a comedy. I mean, it's a very dry comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very European comedy, I would say.
Yeah.
That was your top 10 Avalanche movies, correct? That episode?
Probably.
Okay.
Number 5, House of Gucci. Number 4, The Greatest Showman. Number 3, We Were Children. Number 2, Passing. And his number 1 was The Power of the Dog, which we just talked about.
All
He gave
right.
4.5 stars. He said it was great to listen to the podcast episode on this one after watching it. When I was done watching the movie, I knew I loved it, but wasn't sure what the movie was saying. I then watched a YouTube video explaining the themes, and it made me love it even more. Here's a link if you're interested, and he provides a link.
Nice.
The link is HTT. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you, Troy, for the email. Appreciated that quite a bit.
Thank you, Troy. We got a second email this week, too.
All right.
This is from listener Logan. He writes, James, Kyle, and Zach. And there's no comma between James, Kyle, so he might think we're the same person, James.
Common mistake.
Yes. Your friendly neighborhood fan of the show, Logan here, offer up my opinions that you didn't ask for. Here is my 2 cents about Spider-Man Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Are these spoiler heavy?
I would say they are not. They're more.
The second one is, yes.
You think the second one is?
Read the first sentence of the second one. Spoiler.
Okay, I will sum up the second one then.
Okay.
How about that?
Yep.
Without going into all that stuff.
I mean, it's made $1 billion, so the chances are good everybody that's seen it that cares, but you never know.
Well, then his first point is he thought the CGI was kind of bad in this movie, particularly Sandman and Lizard, but especially he thought any fight was sort of a blurry mess. What did you guys think of the CGI? I know this is something that we didn't really discuss on the episode.
I think generally in Marvel movies, the CGI has never been really great, and this was on par with that, and I might just be used to it. I will say that last night I watched a movie with my nephew and my sister called Ice Truckers, starring Liam Neeson on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And you have not seen bad CGI until you've seen Ice Truckers. I mean, that advertises itself as a legitimate movie, and it basically turns into Veggie Tales at times. So compare that to the new Spider-Man, and you'll think the CGI in Spider-Man is amazing.
Any thoughts,
That's
Zach,
awesome.
on the CG?
Yeah, the CG wasn't great in this movie, but it didn't distract me most of the time.
I thought some of the scenes at their worst looked like things out of Spider-Man 3, when they were kind of dark with lots of movement, especially when they were fighting in scaffolding, which I remember Spider-Man 3 had a ton of scaffolding fights also. But that's just sort of, it wasn't egregious to me. And then his second point, to sum it up, was he thought that there weren't any standout action scenes or fights, and in fact that they were average or below, and kind of lack the epicness that was set up by this movie. And I kind of agree with that. I think I remember my thoughts were you could watch this movie for the most part on a TV and not miss a ton. The only scene that I thought looked great on the big screen was the Mirrorverse fight between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man when they're doing the Inception city folding. That looks pretty cool.
I disagree. I thought the freeway scene with was great. I will remember that. I'll remember the scene with and Spider-Man fighting in Aunt May's building. I think that was Aunt May's building, right?
And we're just dropping spoilers now about who's in this movie.
Oh, were those big spoilers?
Well, I wasn't allowed to read the first sentence.
What did I spoil? That was in the movie? That's in the trailer.
Okay.
Right?
Zach, you're the spoiler gatekeeper
They're
here.
fighting in Aunt May's building.
I think is not in the trailer. I think is the one in the trailer,
Yeah,
not the
it's in the trailer. Yeah.
Okay, is definitely in the last trailer, but maybe
Okay.
not in the first. So I will beep those instances. Okay, so the fight in Aunt May's building, is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
The fight in Aunt May's building, like the physicality of that, and then the scaffolding scene at the end certainly has elements that we've never seen before, and I thought those elements were pulled off well. Was it a completely unique set piece? I'll agree it wasn't. But what was happening in that sequence? I think what happens in this movie is far more important than big set pieces.
I just wanted Spider-Man to do something cool, like a behind the legs, through the legs web shot. Something like that. That shows like he's super talented.
Spider-Man has definitely in some movie done a behind the back through the legs shot. That has to have happened.
Right.
I just get the sense that the actor playing Spider-Man doesn't actually have Spidey powers.
Yeah, like you feel like they didn't really take the time to get bitten by a radioactive spider.
Yeah.
And really develop and form those powers to the best of their ability.
Which is fine, but it's a movie about a Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, okay, that's a spoiler. I can't say it. So it was a good
All
joke
right.
too, but
Thanks, Logan.
yeah, thank you. He says he still loved the movie, 4.5 stars. Until next email, later webheads.
Is he implying that we are Spider Dash men?
He called us webheads,
Yeah, I
and I
think webheads
assume
are
that means a fan
fans.
of
A
Spider-Man.
fan. Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
Webhead
fan.
is a Spider-Man fan.
I guess
Yep.
so. I mean, I don't have a coloring book, so I don't know if I'm a fan or not.
I'm pretty sure that means you're a Spider-Man fan.
Okay, a webhead.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Logan, for the email.
Yes, we appreciate all emails. Hey guys at Cinereelists.com. Let's get into our major motion picture for the week. The movie up for discussion is in theaters and streaming on HBO Max right now and will be for the next 4 weeks or so. The movie is titled The Matrix Resurrections. Here's a clip.
All the explanation you need. No. No. Whoa. What do you mean, no? You wanted this. You did this. This was your idea.
Yeah. It was a test. An experiment.
An experiment? You put me in a tiny motor, left me to bang my head till I nearly lost my searching for you as an experiment.
The exit's breaking down.
He hasn't taken the pill.
What? There's no time.
I know. He's having a moment.
Does he know how hard it was to hack that mirror?
Still open.
That was The Matrix Resurrections, a 2021 American science fiction action film. Produced, co-written, and directed by Lana Wachowski. It's the sequel to the Matrix trilogy. It stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Jessica Henwick, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, and Jada Pinkett Smith. The official IMDb plot synopsis for The Matrix Resurrections is: return to a world of two realities, one, everyday life, the other, what lies behind it. To find out if his reality is a construct, to truly know himself, Mr. Anderson will have to choose to follow the White Rabbit once more. Wow, what a plot description. I mean, if you took away the word "will have to choose," if you took away the word "once more," it's literally a plot description of the first Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now, that either means it's a bad plot description or they've basically remade the Matrix here.
Or it's a bad plot.
Right. I don't know about a bad plot, but definitely a retread of a plot. Yeah, so The Matrix Resurrections, we didn't discuss this ahead of time, but maybe we'll do broad thoughts and then go right into spoilers like we did with Spider-Man, because I feel like I feel like you have to talk spoilers on this because it's pretty intricate and involved with the first three movies in ways. What do you guys think of The Matrix Resurrections?
Kyle?
Yeah. So I'll say I had kind of low expectations going into this.
Why?
I never cared for Matrix Revolutions. I know we're probably gonna talk a little bit about these at the end.
Mhm.
So it's a trilogy where the ending, it ended. I didn't care for the ending, and I really didn't feel like a need to revisit this world. So when the fourth one was announced, I was okay with it because it wasn't gonna. I wasn't getting excited about it. I wasn't getting hyped over it. I was gonna just see what it was, and I think that probably helped my viewing experience a little bit, because I enjoyed this movie, but I wasn't blown away. I would say this is not my favorite Matrix movie. Obviously, The Matrix is a 5-star, top 50, top 30 movie for me. But neither was this my least favorite Matrix movie either. Kind of lands in the middle. Um, the there's definitely some meta commentary going on in this movie that I enjoyed. I look forward to talking about that with you guys in the spoiler section. But I kind of found the whole point of the movie a little low stakes.
Mhm.
Right? Like you look at the trilogy and the plot and what's at stake in those first 3 movies. You look at this movie, and this movie definitely did not have that urgency that the first ones did. And it also didn't bring for me any amazing action sequences. Again, I wasn't expecting like groundbreaking Matrix 99 action to happen, but even Revolutions and Reloaded, for all their faults, have some memorable action sequences in it. And this one, I did not find any one sequence as a huge standout of like, oh, that's the one I could, even if I just jumped to that one scene, I could watch that again. Or with like Reloaded has the highway, which you could definitely watch in isolation. That's a great action sequence. And even Revolutions has the Smith fight at the very end, which upon rewatch about a year ago held up really well. So I guess I'm kind of neutral on this movie, maybe neutral on the airing of I enjoyed it. I'm not mad that I watched it.
Mhm. Zach?
I probably had a stronger take than Kyle. I did not like this movie.
I am not surprised.
I hated it.
Yeah.
You
Go
hated
ahead,
it.
Zach.
I think this is a movie that I think it's a movie that hates that it exists. Like
It hates the success of the previous films.
yes, I think Wachowski hates the fact that this movie exists, and it resents the Matrix fans, and basically said, you know what you love about the Matrix? Well, that's not what I want the Matrix to be anymore. I'm going to make it about something else, and that's what it's going to be. And if you don't like it, then that's your problem. And also, I don't even want to make this movie. Like, that's what it's saying. It's like, I don't want to make this movie, but since I'm going to, I'm just going to make it something totally different. And if you don't like it, tough. there's first of all, this movie is very meta in a way that I just kind of feel I find obnoxious.
Was it too on the nose?
It's extremely
Yeah.
on the nose, way too on the nose and cheesy about it, to the point where they're actively showing lots of clips from the first movie, like just straight clips. And then talking about it, and you know, the plot kind of mirrors the director's experience, kind of a thing. But then yeah, it's just all the things that made the Matrix special are not in this movie. And then it plot wise, it really turns things on a head to be, this is a very different movie about very different things, and it's kind of saying this is what it's about, what it's been about the whole time. And I disagree with that. I don't think that's the case. And then I had lots of problems with it. The acting, the lighting, the dialogue, they felt like CW level filmmaking to me.
The
Like
lighting?
it did not.
Really?
Yeah, the lighting
Really?
specifically.
No,
Yeah.
it did not have that flatness of like The Flash or one of those shows.
I so specifically, like in the older movies, the Matrix had like when you're in the Matrix, there's kind of like a greenish tint to it.
Yep.
Now it's like an orangey glow when you're in the Matrix.
I noticed that. I have some thoughts on maybe why they did that, but
Oh, sure. I'm sure. Yeah, there's reasons for all the things they did. It's just, why are you making a movie that clearly you hate?
Yeah, why change all the visual language between
Mhm.
version 3 and version 4?
Yeah. The
Except for
acting,
the
even
stuff you didn't change, which feels like just like okay, it has to be a Matrix movie, so we won't change
Yeah.
that, but we'll change
The
later.
costume design, I mean, it had one of the agents in like a blazer and t-shirt kind of a thing. And it's where Agent Smith in the originals is in a suit and it's just kind of like a look. This one, it's just weird to have a main bad guy in a blazer and a t-shirt, like delivering dialogue. It just doesn't fit the Matrix, you know? And then other characters are like, oh, they've been stuck for a very long time. And so they look like they're out of Waterworld. Like like their hair is crazy long and they're in ratty clothes. And it's like, well, you're just a program. Like, why are you look like you washed up with Tom Hanks on an island? I just, there's so many choices that I didn't like. So many. I think Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Fisher are great and they're always great. And when you let them be Trinity and Neo, great. But yeah, I didn't like this movie. James?
Yeah, I mean this movie is so pointless. And it's I'm not against the idea of another Matrix movie. I enjoy all three of the original Matrix movies. The first one
I do
I think
too.
is a sci-fi classic.
Mhm.
The second one is just it's a middle movie that really doesn't it's go here, do this. It's a kind of a mission movie to try to get you to the third movie. And then I like the third movie, like the idea of love, conquering all and Neo being the one and him like ascending and the peons defending their base in Zion with tons of CG and action sequences. And I mean, like in rewatching that in like a week ago, there's tons of like mech, suit type
Mhm.
stuff that
Yeah.
predates Avatar by like 6 years, and it's just as good as Avatar. Um, there's lots to like in the original trilogy, and I think they had a hard go of it in that trilogy, whereas like the first one was kind of like a much bigger movie than they expected it to be. And so they had to rapidly expand what they had planned for the universe. And then that's what you end up with 2 and 3 with like a bunch of references to things that, according to the characters on screen, are like common knowledge, but yet they were never mentioned in the first one. So it kind of feels like the first one exists over here and the two sequels exist over here and they kind of fit together, but not perfectly type of thing. Um, and this one feels like the same thing. It's like you got 1, you got 2 and 3 that kind of fit together, and then you've got 4 over here that's making references to this thing over here, but really they're just like, "Oh yeah, we didn't mention that you also have this guy, and you have this guy, and you have this guy," type
Mhm.
of thing. And it's like, "Okay, what are we doing here?" And I feel like they have opportunities here to make interesting stories within the world, and instead they just retcon everything from the first 3, and they're I don't know. We're probably getting into spoilers at this point. So I will shut up and say I did not like it visually or the story, and I felt like the whole thing was just an exercise in pointlessness. So I did not enjoy the movie, and was kind of sad that this is where we're at with the Matrix. Because it
Yeah.
feels like there's still a lot of potential here, but this was not it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It just felt like a Matrix movie made by someone who's not a fan of the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah,
And
or
they're
who
kind of
doesn't
wanted to, like,
understand why people like it.
for sure, or is upset that people like it for the reasons that they do,
Yeah,
and kind of want to stick it at the money men who are financing
Mhm.
it.
I do
could be.
agree. From the commentary in the movie, I got the sense that the filmmakers didn't want to make this movie. So I totally picked up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, this has been long rumored, and the Wachowskis constantly said they're not going to do it. And then I think they announced like a writer for part 4, and then like a year or 2 later, that writer was out, and Lana was doing it on her own, like writing and directing. So I don't know if she didn't like what she saw in that writing, and then just said, "No, no, I'll just if you're gonna do it, I'll do it," type of thing. Or I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Let's put a pin in that for spoiler, because I think that ties into
Okay.
what we can discuss.
Sure. All right. Anything else spoiler free? I also really hated that like there was, like Kyle said, there's just nothing. Even if you put the story aside, and you just try to think of like one thing visually that was interesting about the movie. There's nothing. There's literally nothing.
The only innovation they kind of went with is showing bullet time from the other perspective, like where you're going super slow and you're seeing someone else go quick. But that how it was depicted looked so bad and cheesy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of for me CW level Flash, where it's just like this looks so bad it could look way better than this.
Mhm.
It just felt lazy.
Yeah.
I guess we all watched the same movie, and for whatever reason, I didn't hate it.
You're
Like
more
you guys
easygoing
did.
with it.
I was what?
You're more easygoing with it.
Yeah, I think I just came in with low expectations, so that's probably why it
Sure.
didn't come out as bad.
Yeah, I mean,
for me.
I didn't particularly have high expectations because I know the types of movies that the Wachowskis have been making since then, and they're all kind of messy. And this one, I don't think is really messy. I think it actually does exactly what it sets out to do, and that's n- not what I was looking for. I guess was like a a movie that wasn't really The Matrix, but had Matrix characters and Matrix trappings when it had to, and when it didn't have to, it didn't, type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's get into it for real
Okay,
though.
let's do it. Yeah.
Let's letterbox this, and then we will jump right into spoilers. What do you guys give The Matrix Resurrection?
It's 2.5.
I gave it 1.5.
I'm also a 1.5
Wow.
as well. I think this
Oh.
is worse than average for just your
Yeah.
average sci-fi movie. For
Agreed.
sure. All right. A 2.5 and 2 1.5s for The Matrix Resurrections. We're going to jump into spoilers right now and through the rest of the episode for all the Matrix movies, including this new one. So if you have not seen the movie and you want to stay spoiler free, you should pause it here and come back later after you've seen them. And if you have seen the movie or you don't care, listen on, because we're going to say whatever we want about all 4 of the Matrix movies. Okay. So probably the biggest annoying thing to me is that they just retconned everything from the first 3 movies. They're like, oh, yeah, at the end of Matrix 3, Neo becomes the one and
dies.
like sacrifices himself or whatever.
Yep.
And that resets the Matrix.
that
Or it
resets
creates
the
a
Matrix.
new Matrix.
With a truce between the humans and the machines.
Yep.
Right. But in reality, the machines have just rebooted and put him in like a pod so that he doesn't act up again.
It
Basically.
rebuilt him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you find out later on in the movie that even the idea of being the one is just a construct to like keep human hope alive or something like that, and that there's multiple ones, but he's actually the first real the one.
You
or
find out in
something
the
like
original
that.
trilogy. That's not new.
You find out that there's multiple ones.
Well, you find out that the whole idea of like, isn't the whole point of the original trilogy? This is we're jumping to spoilers for other movies, but right
No.
when he meets the architect in that scene
Mhm.
where in Reloaded, right, where he's in that room with all the video screens of himself and he's talking to Colonel Sanders. Doesn't the architect say like the Matrix needs to be reset, and the whole point of the one is you show up and then you reset the Matrix so that we start
Yes.
again. So we kind of knew that already.
So he is the one, but the computers made him the one.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's a special the one because he makes a decision that no other the ones made.
Yeah. So how was that I guess, James, I'm not sure where your criticism is.
I guess my criticism is that nothing in the first trilogy matters. right? Isn't that kind of
because
the starting point of this movie?
because the Matrix just got reset and the machines are still in control.
I don't remember anything in the first trilogy, and I might be wrong,
Mhm.
although I recently rewatched them. So I didn't catch it very recently. That you were just resetting the Matrix because you wanted the status quo to come back around. No, you expected the one to restart it so that people were no longer imprisoned, right?
No, that was the lie. The myth was the one would come and free everyone. And then when the one shows up in the architect's room, that's when the architect gives his whole ergo vis-a-vis speech about the
Yeah.
real purpose of the one is to reset the Matrix because XYZ needs to happen. And the architect basically says it's your duty to do this. And Neo says, no, I'm not going to do it. And then that's what kicks off the events of Revolutions.
The one is a pressure valve for the
Mhm.
Matrix. So basically, it produces the one, and he is presented with this choice, and then he always, in the past iterations, has decided to pick a couple people and restart the Matrix, and that's happened 6 times before. And instead, this time he goes after Carrie-Anne Moss. So he chooses, So that's what it's been. This movie, the way it retcons it, is first of all, it's not about the one anymore. It's about the extreme love between him and Carrie-Anne Moss.
The two.
The two of them together, the binary kind of a thing, which I just have a big problem with because okay, clearly these two are into each other. I get that, right? That's in all the movies.
Sure.
But you're telling me that their particular love for each other is the strongest force of energy that the computers like have available, right? Like these two are like the most in love people in the universe. And by keeping them just near each other, the computers can produce their energy because these are the most potent lovers in the world.
Yeah.
And that's just like, what are the really? This is the like most amazing love that you could possibly imagine. And like just their nearness to each other is like, it's like, no, they're just random people that fell in love. They don't have a special love, that's unique.
Yeah, they do. They have that was the Oracle's prophecy in the original trilogy to Trinity, is that you would fall in love with the one. Like that was the
they
bond.
love each other. They absolutely,
Yeah.
they love each other for sure. But is it a unique or special love? Like, do they love each other so much harder than normal people love each other?
Isn't it? I mean, it's Trinity's love that arguably brings back Neo in the original Matrix.
That kiss, yeah.
Yeah, like he's dead. And then she kisses him and whispers about like the Oracle said that I would fall in love with the one and I love you. And then he comes back to life. And then
Yes.
isn't it also in Revolutions? Doesn't I haven't seen Revolutions like a year. Doesn't Neo like stick his matrixy hand in
Yes.
her matrixy body and
Yep.
restart her heart or something like that? So
For sure.
I guess the trilogy has established multiple times that they have a stronger bond than our normal understanding of human love.
No. It's just that they have love for each other, and they're like,
have you kissed someone back to life before?
There's something special about like he's the one,
Yeah.
and now in this movie she's the one because she can fly. She's even more powerful than him.
Yeah, so they're both incredibly powerful humans. I guess.
Yeah. My problem is the movie is
you.
just my problem is the movie is just telling us
Mhm.
that their love is so powerful that it can power the world. And I don't buy it.
I love that I'm the one defending the 2.5-star movie here. Like I need to earn that star. I will say we can talk MPH. He did have that line about like your love has filled 10 quotas of energy. Like it was very like Monsters Inc.-y, and that
It was
some of
Okay.
his dialogue was cringy. I'll give you that.
I hated Neil Patrick Harris.
You
in this
hated
movie.
him in this.
Yes.
Me too.
First of all, he does not belong in a Matrix movie. That is silly.
Just
He doesn't fit at all.
like because his performance doesn't have the gravitas that we're expecting from these movies.
yeah, his performance and his character for sure. And it's Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, like he's just like, I don't know. He's out of a rom-com, which this movie is now. But and it's like it's so painfully obvious that he's a bad guy, right? Are you ever thinking like, oh no, he's just a normal clueless analyst? Like,
Right.
no, of course he's
Yeah,
the
of course
bad
the
guy.
bad guy. Yep.
And when he turns bad, it's so silly. And again, it lacks all gravitas, right? Like Agent Smith had this unique kind of gravitas to him in the original Matrix. You know, like when he's left alone with Neo in that high tower and he's like, I hate being around humans. It's this
That's
stench, you know?
Morpheus he's left with.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with Morpheus. Like, you just get this sense that he hates being around people and he's fundamentally different than them. And this is, just his role. Whereas Neil Patrick Harris is just like, ha, I tricked you. And I'm just schemy.
Energy quotas and
Yeah,
the
so
suits
silly.
upstairs. Yeah.
And then the new Agent Smith,
Oh,
whoever that guy is,
Jonathan Groff.
that's the worst casting. All of a sudden, he's Agent Smith. It's so silly. There's no reason for him to be Agent Smith or any of the things that he does. When he becomes Agent Smith, or you realize it's him or whatever, it's so out of place. They're in a lobby and he sees a gunfight happening. And he's like, okay, let's do this. And he like, yeah, no, thank you.
So they couldn't get Hugo Weaving back. So if they were gonna, and obviously they decided we're gonna keep with this story. So who would you have rather have seen if you can't get Hugo Weaving and you can't, and they're not gonna change the story? Who would you rather see as the new Agent Smith?
Benicio del Toro.
Josh Brolin.
I'd rather they just not have an Agent Smith. Just
Yeah, for sure.
get a new character. Same thing with
Wasn't Agent
Morpheus.
Smith,
They
like,
should have just written a
destroyed?
new character. I would have been fine with it.
I hated the use of old clips from the movie, and they did it so much.
I kind of liked the introduction, how they reshot the first scene of the Matrix in this movie.
I was down for that.
I thought that was actually
cool.
kind of cool. Yeah,
No, that was great. It's just when they kept showing like clips from
and
the old movie.
I like the idea of them observing things that happened in the first movie,
Mhm.
and maybe even like having maybe a timeline you hadn't seen that ran congruently with the first movie. You know what I mean? Like while Neo was figuring these things out, we were over here doing this other thing that you didn't know about. That I would have been on board with.
Yes. Like the Matrix 1 wouldn't have happened if all this behind the scenes stuff wasn't happening at the same time.
Absolutely. And that's actually like a way to tell a story that is not the original Matrix, but is interesting at the same time. Whereas this just kind of like felt like it went back to the formula, but just hate created everything while it was creating it. You know what I mean?
One thing
It's like-
I would have been on board with, so they showed all these clips from the movie, right? Especially Matrix 1.
Mhm.
I would have loved it had they shown alternate takes of those scenes. Because people who have seen those movies know those movies super well. Obviously, you remember every shot that they showed. But if they showed a slightly different take, obviously they probably shot those things 6 times when they filmed it. If they showed a different take of all of those things, that would have been interesting because it fits with this idea that this is a simulation. The Matrix is repeating, over and over. Like it would be a little different. And the fact that you would notice a little difference would be interesting and meta and all those kind of things. But they didn't do that. It was a clip package.
So you brought up the word meta, and I think this is a big sticking point for both of you. When they had the whole conversation about, again, the Matrix video game, that was sort of the wink to the whole audience. That's kind of what got me on board, because that at that point that was me. I knew that was Lana saying, "I don't want to make this movie. My hand's been forced." And James, this kind of goes back to what you said. Does it sound like maybe Warner Brothers went to the Wachowskis, said, "We're making Matrix 4. Do you want in?" They said no. Warner Brothers went ahead anyway with a new writer, and that's when the one sibling came in, which is kind of what gets paralleled in the movie too, in the meta commentary.
That's pretty much what happened.
I don't know if that's the case 100%, but that's what it looks like happened for sure.
So I guess the fact that the movie, and I could see why people would be bothered by this. But for me, the fact that the movie basically said like, here's why we're here, here's why we exist, like put all its cards on the table, that got me more on board. Just the fact that it was so self-aware of its own existence.
I have a question for you.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say the situation was what happened in real life.
Mhm.
Why did that force her hand into directing this movie?
If
If she didn't want to do it, why not do it?
So my guess is they didn't want to do it. Someone else was, and maybe they thought if we say no, that just means it's not going to happen whatsoever. Like we'll say no, and Warner Brothers will just move on. And obviously, Warner Brothers didn't. Goes ahead and moves with a different writer and probably a different crew, and then at least one of the siblings, for whatever reason, was like, I can't let that happen. I can't let someone else take my project, because the other sibling wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. So I get the impression that again, this is me just guessing into the ether that maybe Lana was like, I'm not comfortable with someone else doing this. If someone's going to make this movie, it's going to be me.
But here's what I don't get is because clearly the commentary is like, I don't want you to have another Matrix like the original 3.
Yeah.
If we're going to do Matrix, it's going to be something different, right? So if she doesn't want to do another Matrix, then just don't. Let someone else do the other Matrix. You know what I mean? Like it's like she picked up a project that she didn't want to exist, and then I just don't get it. And
Again, it could. I don't know her personally. It could be ego, it could be hubris. It could be the idea of I can't let someone else make what I've made. It has to be me. Whether I want to do it or not, I have to have my name on it.
I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother, like from a creative,
sure,
ownership perspective, I'm fine with that. But that doesn't mean you. I don't know what kind of filmmaker Lana Wachowski is at this point, obviously, and so maybe this is exactly the Matrix movie she wants to make at this point in life. But I can think of like 10 other ideas that would be better. You know what I mean? Than what we got here. It's kind of like, it just like this version of it seems like the laziest, most sappy version I can come up with. And so that's why it's hard for me to just accept that somebody's heart was fully in it, when like I'm sure you and I could pass around the 3 of us could pass around ideas for 2 hours and come up with better ideas than what was in this movie. And that is scary, because we're not the people who created them originally, nor are we people who do this for a living. And yet it doesn't seem like it was that far out of reach to make a better movie than what this was. But if you want to make a movie about true love, and the only way you can get that done is by cramming it into the Matrix, then I get how you end up with this.
Kyle, I think the part that got you more on board totally turned me off, and that is when the marketing people or whatever are in a room and they're talking about, okay, what do we need to do for this sequel to the video game?
Yep.
And it's kind of like a montage of them talking about what made the original one popular. And the thing is, these characters are presented so cynically, right? They're the ones you should be cynical about, right?
Yes.
They are the base level. Everything they say is supposed to be like
it's all buzzwords.
You should make fun of it. Like it's a very cynical take on that group of people, right? But they are legitimately saying why the first Matrix was popular and successful, right? Cool action scenes, bullet time. It's kind of philosophical and action at the same time. It had kind of this, early 90s Hong Kong aesthetic that, America hadn't seen, kind of a thing. It was cool, right? There was like cool sunglasses and like, those are the things that made the Matrix fun. Yeah. And she puts those in the words of like the most cynical characters, so that you're supposed to be like, oh, those fools for liking a movie for those reasons. We're not going to give it to them in this movie. And it's like, well, that is why the people like that old movie, and those aren't bad things. It made the movie awesome. And so instead, you're gonna give us a movie with no good action scenes, like no cool sunglasses on Neo. Like it's just, I don't know. It just seemed like it resented what the first movie was.
Do you know why I think you really didn't like that sequence?
Why?
Because the whole montage was set to White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane.
Why? He doesn't like White Rabbit?
Yeah, no, we not too long ago, we just did a whole Rabbit episode, Power of the Dog.
Right.
And yeah, Zach, you talked about how you do not, you're like, oh yeah, White Rabbit, that song used in trailers all the time.
It's true.
And then here it was in a montage in the movie you're not already enjoying. So
a character I did like, Bugs. I liked Bugs.
yeah, she seemed like an actual new and justifiable character in this world.
She was maybe the only new and justifiable character in this
right.
world.
And she actually made her own decisions. It seemed like she had a personality to her. What did you guys think of New Morpheus?
Pointless.
I didn't totally understand why there was a new Morpheus.
I'm gonna agree. I don't understand the first 15 minutes of the mythology of this movie. About like which is fun, like, and that's kind of Matrix movies as they went on. The mythology always got to be kind of mumbo jumbo-y anyway. But this whole idea of like he was a modal that got pulled in and was a composite of two characters. I'm like, wait, he was it seemed a little, I don't know, it seemed a little too like we're just going to explain it away really fast and hopefully no one's paying attention.
I mean, his only role, and he kind of disappears except that he can show up a little bit later.
I agree. I did not like the fact that he was gone for the last third of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of helped them get to the pods or whatever. But, and also like the computers can just bring people back to life. Like anytime they want.
Yeah, with their new cool Stingray.
Yeah, the whole like organic machines that are teaming up with the humans as well. I was just like, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point of this?
Did it seem like they were trying to cram 3 movies of story into one? Of like, and then there's this, and then there's that, and then there's this.
No, it didn't feel overstuffed to me.
Okay.
To me, it felt like somebody who's
thin.
very bored and is
Okay.
like, oh, let's do this because I don't know. I don't know why. That's the problem. There's no reason why. Period.
And if you watch any big scene transition into another scene, the way that they get from one scene to another is so thin, it's embarrassing. Like when they're in the street, remember how like bots, because now they just have computer people constantly monitoring, right?
Yeah.
So those aren't agents taking over regular people. They're just always bots all the time.
Yep.
They have them like, kamikazing out of buildings to try to land on them, and that was disturbing.
Like disturbing in a good way, or just like disturbing cool,
bad way.
or
People
disturbing bad?
People just like falling on the ground like frogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was disturbing. Anyways,
It was like in
that
Fast 8, but instead of cars driving out windows, it was people.
people
less disturbing when it was cars.
Yeah. After that whole sequence where they're just on the road and there's the big chase or whatever, there's people with guns all around. They're hiding behind a car, and then Neo and Trinity just kind of slowly walk from the car into a building, and then the next thing is in the building, and that's where they have like the next confrontation. And it's like, no, there's people with guns all around pointed at you. You can't just walk from the cars into the building? But they're just kind of like strolling in. It's odd and embarrassing.
I was bothered by the fact that Neo in the real world in his pod had eyebrows. Because if you watch original Matrix, when he bursts out of that pod, he's got no hair on his body.
Yeah, no hair.
Nothing.
On his body.
And I just imagine that I don't know. I bet you he was making John Wick 4 at the same time, and he's like, "Nope, you're not shaving the eyebrows. Like you can shave the head."
From like a concept design perspective, if you look at the original Matrix films, like there was like a concept, there was like a progression of concept design throughout it. This one, there's like nothing, in my opinion. There's just like, they're just like, okay, we're just gonna do what we want, and kind of looks like the real world, but not really. I don't know. It was like a weird take on, like, whenever you were in the Matrix, wh- how is it any different than the real world? Like, but literally the real world.
Well, you're talking
Whereas
about
in
this
the
movie?
original movies, you still have the feeling of being in a computer simulation,
Oh,
even when they're cutting to, you know,
yeah,
the
because I
alternate
like the
reality.
green coloring and kind of the brutalist look of everything, and it doesn't have all the magic hour lighting.
Right.
Yep,
Even
I
like
see
the
what you're
way
saying.
crowds walked through the street
Mhm.
are very computer-like in the original Matrix. And by the time you get to the third movie, it's those same buildings, but everything's black. There's electrical lightning going on. All the Agent Smiths are in rows down the street. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's an art design progression. And in this one, it was like, it's not there. You know what I mean? It's just, it felt very, I don't know what the word is. Phoned in.
Yeah.
No pun
Even
intended.
the first scene, the very first scene, what's recreating the beginning of the first movie, when the agents arrive and they're outside and he's like, you can't go in there, is like, your men are already dead. They're recreating that part.
Mhm.
Um, it is very clearly a set. Like the outdoors, the buildings is a set. It's one of those sets where like, there's all these alleyways, and so you can't see the horizon because the buildings like intersect with each other in the background. And so really it's just like one big set of facades all like stacked around each other. And it's like it just feels so fake. I don't know, in a way that wasn't Matrix fake. It was just we filmed on a soundstage fake.
CW fake.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had even some little things to point to that I enjoyed, but I was really quite aggravated while I was watching this movie. I was just like, yes.
I loved that they slightly played with the idea that maybe he is just crazy, like, and hallucinating, or like has you know, trouble separating reality and fiction.
Mhm.
I like that idea, right? Like, how does he know if he's not just careening into a delusion? But they don't allow that to simmer at all. He's right. It's not a delusion. He just has to accept it.
You would have liked this movie if you started to think, oh my goodness, what if the first trilogy was all in this guy's head?
That could be interesting. If
Okay.
this movie didn't give us a definitive answer to that and left us with trying to make a case one way or the other, that could have been interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be incredibly divisive. If they were dangling that, maybe it's. I mean, again, these are movies that, of course, they're all made up anyway. But
Absolutely. I would take divisive over stupid,
stupid,
pointless. That's the problem. Like when I think of post Matrix Wachowski movies, I feel like even if not everybody prefers what they've made, like the Speed Racers and the Cloud Atlases of the world and stuff like that, like I get it. Not everybody thinks those are classics, but I do think they're big swings with specific visions, and they're messy, and some of the messiness is what makes them interesting. And I did not get that vibe from this movie. Everything that they tried to make messy felt pointlessly messy when they've already got a structure going here that they could stick to, or even take that structure and spin it in ways that like don't mess with, again, the reasons why the good ones are good, or the good parts are good. It seemed like they were being subversive just to be subversive at times, and then at other
Yeah.
times they leaned on the formula like heavy. The final scenes where they're on the roof and they're getting hit with like Gatling guns from 4 different helicopters, that is totally leaning on nostalgia for like what Neo could do in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
couple of movies.
Yep.
So in the same movie where you told us that everything was BS that we liked about the Matrix, you're going to end the movie with exactly what all the selling, not all the
Yeah.
selling, but one of the biggest selling points of the original film.
They even have the shot underneath where you see
Yeah.
the bullets falling from the helicopter.
Yeah,
That
it just
was
feels
one of my
like
complaints is
I
that
don't know.
okay, keep going, James. Sorry.
It's such a cynical
No,
movie.
That's pretty much what I had.
His only power seemed to be bullet force fields.
Yeah.
And like they went to that well multiple times.
Mhm.
Yeah, like in the first movie when he stopped the bullets at the end, it felt like something is happening
Mhm.
and we're not quite sure what. This movie is just like, oh, he just has force field
Yep,
powers.
Yep.
So that's just what he was doing there, and he just holds up his hands and force fields, you know? It's like, oh, he's not like stopping time or have control over momentum or like controlling the physics of this world. He just has force field powers. He's Rogue, or I don't know if Rogue has force field powers or not.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jean Grey.
I think I was
Um,
frustrated with the movie because it told me that everything I liked about the Matrix was bullcrap. Then it made a big deal about the love affair between Neo and Trinity. Like a good third of the movie is about how strong their love is. And I couldn't tell you the exact scenes that were related to that. I just felt like the whole movie was about that. And that it kind of felt like it was trying to convince me that that's what the original movies are about. And that's an element in those movies, but it's one element in those movies. It's not all of what those
Yeah.
Matrix movies were about. And then by the end of it, you get that final helicopter, multi-helicopter scene, and then they jump off the building and Carrie Ann Moss flies because Neo can't, evidently, for some reason. Even though he can throw up bullet shields like it's going out of style. And then they play the exact same music as what the original Matrix goes out
Yeah.
of.
It was
Just
a cover.
a cover
Yeah.
version sung by a female, which I guess like a female empowerment statement, which is fine. I'm fine with that if all the other cynical anti-Matrix stuff hadn't happened in the first 2/3 of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like you're literally ending it how you ended the first one, with people
Yeah.
flying off into the camera.
And did you notice that Neo never picks up a gun in this one?
I didn't notice
like,
that.
He never
No.
picks up a gun. He's
Does
kind
Carrie
of,
Ann never pick one up, or does she pick one up? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but probably not.
I
would be my
wanna
guess.
Doesn't she shoot Smith? Jonathan Groff? Someone shoots. No, Jonathan Groff shoots Neil Patrick Harris.
But it's almost like a very intentional choice. Like, you want to see him pick up a gun and shoot people, you sickos. But like, he's still killing people with his force powers, like flinging one helicopter into another, right? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think there's now a new subgenre of established trilogies and then the fourth kind of like late edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Jurassic World,
Mhm.
I get the sense that those filmmakers knew what made Jurassic Park special, but just couldn't attain it themselves. Like that they weren't proficient enough to capture the magic of the first one, but they knew what was special about Jurassic Park. With Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull, it was a director that had forgotten what had made the original special. And so he was capable of making a great movie, but he had forgotten specifically what made Indiana Jones special. With this movie, it seemed like, no, this is a person that knows what made the original special and then intentionally didn't give us that. And I don't know. I didn't like that.
Yeah, and you could say that she just missed the mark if there wasn't all that dialogue in there where she's intentionally telling you, like,
Yeah.
you like it because of this reason. Everybody likes it because of this reason, and that's what makes it shallow, right? That's basically what they were saying with all that video
Yeah.
game, like,
Mhm.
we gave you what you wanted and got you hooked, but we are not going to give you that this time. You know what I mean?
I
It's
just
like,
think if you
okay.
don't like The Matrix, don't make a Matrix movie.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm curious I'm also curious. We'll probably never know, but I'm curious to know the story of, like, was there a lot of money here? Do the Wachowskis actually like the first three movies and they didn't like the direction the fourth was going? You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of unanswered questions here that maybe could explain some of the weirdness in this movie. Maybe Zach and I are misreading it, and they see this fourth movie as a parody. Because parts of this movie felt like a parody of the original Matrix. Like the way some of the characters were acting, even some of the throwback action scenes kind of felt like parody versions of them to me. Or like impressions of the originals. And the fact that like they're wearing like black matte trench coats, not shiny trench coats. You know what I mean? Like they're getting very close to the edge of being out of style, but not fully late 90s type of thing. I don't know.
Or like Morpheus doing his reveal in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And being like, sorry, that's not in front of a window with the lightning, like the first time or something like that.
I mean, this got to be on purpose. But there's just like, you think to the original Matrix, like when Agent Smith is beating up when Agent Smith is beating up Morpheus in the bathroom and they're like breaking up the sink and every punch hits hard. There's just nothing in this movie. You know what I mean? That's even comes close to just that tiny little slice of the original.
And they have a scene where he like pulls off a sink and do it, and that scene is just lays so flat.
Yeah, everything to me just fell flat. And it might have been that the setup is like all this anti-Matrix stuff, and so I hate watch the rest of it. Entirely possible. But I mean, I blame the movie if that's what happened in my experience, because they did not set me up for success. If they were trying to introduce me to the concept of like forgetting what I liked about the original, it didn't do that. It just confused me as to why this one was so anemic and limp.
But I thought Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss looked great. They weren't too old to reprise their roles. Jada Pinkett Smith has not aged well though.
I had to look up if that was actually her. Apparently it was.
It was good makeup.
It was
pretty good makeup. Yeah.
You cannot recognize her.
No.
Sure.
I like seeing Carrie-Anne Moss back. I feel like she has not had as big a career as Keanu Reeves, and she is just as deserved as he is.
Yeah.
So
she did do her cool like back scorpion kick a couple times, which I was.
You know what? Here's what I think. If Wachowski wanted to do what she did, like make this about their love and not follow the thread of what the Matrix was, but do something different with it, I think I would have liked this better if it was just it all took place in the Matrix with him knowing, maybe trying to figure out if what he thought happened with Trinity is real or if he just is hallucinating or whatever. And then it's a romantic movie where they're both in the Matrix and he's trying to rekindle things with her in the Matrix. And there can be Matrixy things happening, but we never go to the real world. It's all there. And then at the end, she decides to wake up and then it ends outside of the Matrix. I would have been fine with that. And that would accomplish what she wanted to do.
Like she thinks this is normal life and then she's with him and Matrix stuff happens and her mind is blown.
The meal scene, right? Where they first meet and she's like, oh, I know you're the video game designer.
Yeah.
And like if it was all that kind of stuff, I think that would have been the movie that she wanted to make. She just didn't make that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways. So I liked it a lot.
I really felt you evolve. Is 4.5 top 10 2021 for you now?
I think on rewatch it could get up to a 4.5. But we'll have to see. Yeah.
James, you did a really good job on selling why Revolutions is not as bad as I think it is. Like I was listening to your arguments and I was nodding for Revolutions.
Yeah. I think if you rewatch it, you'll appreciate it a little more. It's not like a sci-fi classic or anything like that, but I think it's in line, and I actually respect the way the Wachowskis took the original Matrix and expanded it into a bigger universe. Like they set some groundwork in the first one that they never expected to really have to pay off. And then they paid it off. in those last two. And whether you like that payoff or not, it's up to you. But I enjoy just the pacing of the story and stuff like that, and where it gets to at the end. And I feel like you could, like, if you want to make another Matrix, Warner Brothers would have given them money to make anything Matrix. It didn't even have to have Neo in it, I'm sure. And instead they made this. I'm assuming it didn't have to have Neo in it. Or like have Neo in it, but like cameo him somewhere in it at the very end.
It had to have John Wick in it for sure.
Why? You don't
He's
think
John Wick.
You don't think a new Matrix live action movie by one of the Wachowskis was a big enough selling point?
Without a name attached?
Get a different name.
Yeah.
Don't get Neo.
What name?
I don't know. Get Tom Holland. He's in every other movie.
Oh,
these days.
jeez. I do not want to see. I
just
don't want to
saying,
see Tom Holland being like punching agents. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, there's
Just
people out
apologizing his
there.
way through the movie.
There's people
I
out
will
there
say,
you could get.
I
to
saw
be
the
that's in
trailer
it.
for the Mark Wahlberg Tom Holland movie, and I'm gonna like that movie.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
It's a video game adaptation.
Okay.
Do you think that?
So's the Matrix.
Do you think that Mark Wahlberg was originally supposed to play Nathan Drake, and this movie took forever, and he got too old, so they had to recast it, but they couldn't take him out of it?
I don't know. I feel like Tom Holland's too young for Nathan Drake.
For Nathan, yeah, but I agree that Tom Holland is too young for Nathan Drake, but I just like, why is Mark Wahlberg in this movie? And my only guess is that Mark Wahlberg was originally Nathan Drake, and he just got too old for it.
I feel like Mark Wahlberg is closer to a Nathan Drake age than Mark Wahlberg, or than Tom Holland is.
I figured Nathan Drake is like late 30s. Mark Wahlberg's got to be 50.
All right, so both of you are familiar with the video game. This is my absolute first exposure to it. Was that trailer?
Okay. Should we?
Mark Wahlberg is probably about 50. You're right.
Yeah.
He is exactly 50.
And there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Should we rank the Matrix movies? Unless anyone has anything else to say about Resurrections.
Wow.
I feel bad. I honestly don't like talking negatively about movies. Sometimes it's fun. Yeah. It's not fun this time. I don't know why.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a movie lover.
I'm not going to say I'm a movie lover. I just, I feel like this is...
He's a movie buff.
This is hopefully the end of the Matrix. I don't want any more Matrix. I don't... Unless somebody who really loves the Matrix wants to make another Matrix. I don't want the Wachowskis make another Matrix. I'd rather them make some other thing. Because it's obviously not in the cards for them to do more of this.
Yeah, if Ridley Scott wants to make a Matrix movie, go for it.
No, Ridley Scott is 83 years old. He has other things to do. He shouldn't be making Matrix movies either.
What about Denis Villeneuve?
I'm fine with that. If Denis Villeneuve wants to follow up the Matrix Resurrections, which I highly doubt. I highly doubt anybody wants to follow up the Matrix Resurrections.
I don't know. Maybe Villeneuve,
which was maybe the plan.
Adaptations for now on. He's no more original. He's just going to do his own adaptations, his own sequels, reboots.
I don't know. All right. Quick ranking the Matrix movies.
It's easy for me. 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 2, 3, 1.
My gut right now is 3, 4, 2, 1.
All right. I bet when you watch Revolution, you'll change your mind.
I watched
it. It is a very competent movie.
I did. I watched it a year ago, and what bothers me the most is just all the Zion real world stuff. I find that much less interesting than the Matrix stuff.
I find it less interesting, but I also think you're at the end of movie 3.
Yeah,
that's been setting up the fact that there has to be a battle in the real world, so you're going to get a lot of real world stuff.
I know, but when they're buzzing around with blind Neo talking to machine baby faces, I was like, okay, this is like, again, the Neo Smith fight that surprised me how well that held up.
Yeah, and that's happening concurrently, like Star Wars style. They have like two big battles going on.
Yeah,
I like it, but I'm not alone on this island. but it's a small island of people who like revolutions. So
Fair.
for sure. Before we go, we're going to play one quick game of trivia. I believe Kyle got some new trivia questions for Christmas. So
I did. Yes.
we're going to go through a bunch of those. So Kyle's going to ask this time,
Mhm.
and it'll be Zach versus James.
These are all multiple choice.
Okay.
So how about I ask one of you?
Are these like general knowledge movie questions?
I don't know. They're
right.
movie questions.
It's not like the 80s pack of
No.
movie questions
These
or anything
are
like that.
these are general knowledge movie questions.
What's the copyright date on these?
I couldn't find it.
Okay.
And it is very small print and a little dark in this basement. So even if I could find it, I can't read it to you.
But you believe it's a fairly recently written questions.
Yeah, I mean, I was given it for this Christmas, so I'm going to assume that it's not.
An
It was
antique.
brand new given to me. It was not a used copy or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna say that the most recent questions will be fairly recent, but flipping through, there are also questions from 80 years ago.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Sounds good. We're gonna bounce.
Yeah, we could do that. I could ask one of you. Do we want to go? They're all multiple choice. Do you want to try and guess without the multiple choice for 2 points, and then 1.4, and then the other person can steal?
Yes.
Okay,
How about this?
go for it.
This is my suggestion, okay? Because we don't know how hard or easy these are. You ask the question to a specific person.
Yep.
They can choose to answer for 2 points or ask for the multiple choice.
Okay.
Okay. If they ask for the multiple choice, you give it to them for 1 point.
Yep.
Okay. If they want to just answer without the multiple choice and they get it wrong, the other person gets to answer with the multiple choice.
If the first person gets the multiple choice wrong, does the other person
No.
steal?
If
no
the
steal.
first person, no, if the first person doesn't want the multiple choice, they want to just answer for 2 points.
I understand that.
The first time someone gets it wrong, it goes to the other person.
So if James asks for the multiple choice,
Yes.
and I give it to him, and he gets it wrong, then do
It
you get
still
a chance?
goes. Yes, you do.
Okay, so then
You can still steal.
you can still steal with 3 options left.
But what I'm saying is if they don't ask for the multiple choice, get it wrong, the next person gets the multiple choice.
Yeah, okay.
For 1 point.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. James,
Yes.
which of these Oscar-winning films had the longest runtime? Would you like the multiple choice?
Yes. So I'm
for
looking
2 points,
for
James. For 2
longest
points.
runtime.
Of these 4 films, I mean, you could
Okay.
guess which one you think of. It's an Oscar-winning
A, B,
film.
C, or D.
Okay.
Only 400 and something movies have won an Oscar, so you can definitely make a guess.
Nope. No sweat.
All right. A, Gone with the Wind, 1939. B, Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. C, Ben-Hur, 1959. Or D, Cleopatra, 1963.
Those are all long movies.
Which one is the longest?
This is a pure guess. Gone with the Wind.
Incorrect. Zach?
I am going to go with I'm going to go with Cleopatra.
Correct. Cleopatra, a whopping 248 minutes. And that says right there, a whopping 248 minutes. That's not my commentary. All right, point to Zach. Are you keeping track, Zach?
I am.
Cool.
The score is currently 1-0.
1-0. All right. Zach, for 2 points. Which movie includes a villain named Pizza the Hut?
You got an easy one. Oh my gosh.
You should know this, Zach.
How much time does he get? Because this
Hold
should
on.
be
I-
like
no,
right
I-
away.
Yeah.
I am going to go with Spaceballs.
You are correct. Spaceballs. Correct. 2 points. James, which popular disaster movie's score was not written by John Williams?
Why do I get the forced multiple choice questions?
Well, we're going to have 25 each. It's
Yeah.
only been
All right.
2 questions.
I mean, you just got to give me any John Williams, non-John Williams disaster movie scored that's on this list right here.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like your
Hit me.
choices?
Yes. I have to have my choices. So
Earthquake, Dante's Peak, The Towering Inferno, or The Poseidon Adventure?
Wait, 3 of those 4 are John Williams scores.
I just learned that right now. Yes, I would. If you had asked me about
I
any
mean,
of
I
those,
learned all the John Williams scores. Can you give them to me again?
correct. Earthquake, Dante's Peak, The Towering Inferno, or The Poseidon Adventure.
I feel like Dante's Peak is not John Williams.
Is that your
Dante's
answer?
Peak, yes.
Correct.
Correct!
Well done.
Zach, which unlikely character did Patrick Stewart present with a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1996?
Which unlikely character?
Yes, so I'll tell you, this is a movie character that Patrick Stewart gave an award to in 1996. So not a person.
I want the multiple choice.
Okay. Jaws, Mickey Mouse, Superman, or Godzilla?
And what's the award?
Lifetime Achievement Award in 1996.
I'll say Godzilla.
Correct.
No.
Correct!
James, in the final movie of The Lord of the Rings, which of these characters does not sail to the west?
Okay.
You
It's more
might be able to
multiple choice.
piece this out.
It's more multiple choice.
Yeah, you want? So would you like multiple choice? These are all multiple choice.
I
Every
have to have
question.
multiple choice, right?
I mean, you could probably figure out who doesn't go into the west if you really think about that movie.
Of all the characters in the movie Lord of the Rings, I have to tell you all of the ones that don't sail to the west.
Okay, yes, because your multiple choice are like that one woman or that Pippin.
James, the only answer is the character that was supposed to but didn't.
All right, here. Would you like your multiple choice?
Yes.
Gandalf, Frodo, Aragon, or Bilbo?
Bilbo.
Incorrect.
I don't
Zach?
remember.
Aragon.
Aragon. Zach, could you
Bilbo
have
did
answered
go.
that
Correct!
without the multiple choice?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
could piece that out. Okay. Zach, who played juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men?
Good luck.
Henry Fonda?
You're correct for 2 points.
Correct!
I didn't know he was juror number 8, to
Yep.
be honest.
He's the only one anybody would ever expect to know.
Well, but if they had said juror number 6, I wouldn't have been able to answer.
Yeah.
You would have said Henry Fonda because that's the only name you know.
Well, I would have been wrong
the only
because he was
name
juror number
anybody
8,
knows.
apparently.
But
Apparently
that's
he was
why
juror
they
number
would have
8.
never asked you number 6 because nobody cares who number 6 is.
I think the movie would have been very different if there wasn't 11 other jurors.
The question could have been framed as name a juror from 12 Angry Men, and the answer would have been
if not for Henry
Henry
Fonda,
Fonda.
I would not have been able to do that.
right. Exactly. That's the point.
James,
Yes.
in the never-ending story, what kind of creature is flown by the film's protagonist?
The name? There's an actual name to the actual animal.
It's a
It's a dragon. It's a dragon.
There you go. 2 points. That's what it is. Dragon.
Correct!
Yep,
Okay.
you got it.
I feel like there's also a name in the universe too, but I don't remember.
Probably. I was gonna say it's a general name. You don't have to go very specific. So
Sure.
you got it. All right, Zach. In 2008's The Love Guru, favorite movie of yours, which actress appears in the film and has her name used as a made-up prayer?
I would like multiple choice because I haven't seen this movie.
Is it-
So I want to see who I picture.
Jessica Alba, Megan Good, Thelma Hopkins, or Mariska Hargitay? Mariska Hargitay.
It's funny because I haven't heard of 3 of those.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Jessica Alba.
Incorrect. James.
Mariska Hargitay.
That's a point for James.
Who is that?
Correct!
I have
didn't even
no
need
idea
the
who
multiple
Mariska
choice.
Hargitay is. James, who played
Yes.
the game? Sorry, who played the genie in Disney's 2019 live-action remake of Aladdin?
Will Smith.
Correct for 2 points.
That's correct.
Zach, what?
How did you know that?
Because we talked about it for an hour.
Zach, what is widely considered to be the first full-length horror film?
That's a great
That's
question.
a great question.
Right away I was going to say Night of the Living Dead, but I think that's the first zombie film.
Okay.
So what's the first full-length horror film?
Full-length horror film.
Now I'm thinking it's which one do I pick? I'll say Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
I'm sorry, I need the plus the punctuation in that one. So James, that's correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Nice. Correct. I was gonna do that, or I was gonna do the other one with the creepy,
No,
you know,
Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Those are the first two choices. Yeah, the other two were Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Period Hyde. James, in The Princess Bride, which of these characters killed Inigo Montoya's father?
In The Princess Bride, which of the six-fingered man?
I need his name, please.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I don't know which one's the six-fingered man on this list.
I don't.
All right.
I don't remember, so I guess I need multiple choice.
I'll give it. Okay. Vizzini, Wesley, Count Rugen, or Prince Humperdinck?
Prince Humperdinck.
Incorrect.
No.
Vizzini.
Yeah,
Vizzini.
yeah,
Incorrect. Count Rugen. Come on, guys. Vizzini's Wallace Shawn.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't kill
He doesn't kill.
Inigo Montoya's father.
Not in the movie or the book.
In what? Your memory? Your fan fiction adaptation?
Yes.
That I'm about to write. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Zach, which of these Batman actors squared off against Poison Ivy? Which Batman actor squared off against Poison Ivy?
Sure. Was it Val Kilmer or George Clooney? That's the question.
Great question.
I'm gonna say George.
If you mean George Clooney, I'll give it to you.
I do.
Okay, correct.
That's correct.
James, what was the name of the fictional high school in the 1979 movie Grease?
No clue. Multiple choice, please.
Riverdale High, Rydell High, Rosewood High, or East High?
My first inclination was Riverdale, but that's probably wrong. Let's go with East. Why not?
Incorrect, Zach.
I'm going Rydell.
Rydell High is correct, Zach.
That's correct.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Zach, which singer turned heads by wearing an unusual swan dress to the 2001 Academy Awards?
Easy.
I don't know this offhand,
Okay.
and so I do want the multiple choice.
Nelly Furtado, Jennifer Lopez, Bjork, or Britney Spears?
Still don't know this. I'll say J-Lo.
Incorrect.
Bjork.
James, Bjork is correct.
How did you
Famous
not know
film
that,
buff
Zach? Come
Britney
on.
Spears at the Oscars.
Why would I know that?
Why would I
James-
know that?
Well, I think that's what your brain's filled with.
James, which movie musical is modeled after Romeo and Juliet?
Which what?
Which movie musical is modeled after Romeo and Juliet?
Movie musical. Romeo plus Juliet?
Incorrect.
It's not a musical.
No.
Zach,
They don't
would you
sing
like
in that movie?
the
No.
would you like the multiple choice?
I would.
Camelot, West Side Story, Guys and Dolls, or My
Oh
Fair Lady?
gosh.
West Side Story.
Correct.
That's correct.
Too easy.
Zach, in which movie did Leonardo DiCaprio make his film debut?
That's actually hard.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Incorrect.
No.
James, Titanic,
Yes.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape, This Boy's Life, or Critters 3?
Oh. Critters 3?
Critters 3.
That's correct.
Nice.
James, what pop vocal group performs at the wedding in Bridesmaids?
I'm going to take the multiple choice.
Wilson Phillips, Dixie Chicks, Debbie Gibson, or Belinda Carlisle?
Wilson Phillips.
Correct.
Correct.
I know that
Nice.
things can change. Hold on for one more day.
Yep.
Breakthrough. In
From the
something
pain.
else.
From the pain.
From the pain. Someday somebody's gonna come along. Zach, after an
Do
awkward...
you know? Hold on a second.
Yes.
Do you know there's a ton of songs from like that era that I only know from those old commercials that would play for like compilation CDs?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd play like a little snippet of different songs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you still remember some of those like in order that they used to play? Because I do.
No.
Not in or like I can tell you the snippet. I can't
Sure.
tell you the order though. No.
Some of them I could probably do 8 songs in a row of just like the snippets.
I loved like I knew those commercials would come on, and then I knew there was a specific song I wanted to hear because this is before like MP3s and streaming.
Oh yeah.
And I was just
Oh, yeah.
waiting for like that 5-second clip of "I Will Remember You" by Skid Row. I was like, yes, I got my fix. And then that's it. That's all I got until Napster came along.
Yeah. Anyway, back to it.
Yeah. After this is for Zach, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
After an awkward misplacing of presenter cards broadcast live at the 2017 Oscars, which film actually won Best Picture? That's a really wordy question.
Mhm.
Moonlight.
I'm sorry, it's La La Land. Oh no, Moonlight wins.
That's correct.
Great joke, Kyle.
Hilarious. Lots of levels on that one.
Oh yeah. James, who was the
Mhm.
first woman to win an Academy Award for Best Director?
Sure. Catherine Bigelow.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's correct.
Spell Catherine for me, please.
Katheryn.
I'm sorry, Zach.
RYN.
Yeah,
RYN.
Okay, that's a point for Zach. Thank you.
I didn't say why. What did I say?
You threw an extra E in there. I stopped listening after the E.
Oh.
All right, 2 points.
Oh, it's
for James.
Catherine, not Catherine.
Yeah, correct. Catherine. Yep.
Gotcha.
Zach, in 1995's The Usual Suspects, which character was ultimately revealed to be Kaiser Soze?
Okay, so it was the actor, or the character that was played by Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need the character's name?
I do need the character's name. Yes.
Okay, let me think. He Verbal
Do you know his last name?
Kint.
Thank you very much.
I had to know a lot of info for that one.
Well, I mean, it says either Roger Verbalkint or Verbalkint.
Oh, Roger.
So you could give me
Verbalkint.
his Christian name. That would have been fine too. Yes.
That's awesome.
James, 2001: A Space Odyssey was directed by which of the following directors?
Stanley Kubrick.
Multiple
you.
choice. Multiple choice.
That's correct.
Are you sure it's not James
Correct.
Cameron or Ridley Scott or possibly Francis Ford Coppola?
No.
Zach in Casablanca, what character says, "Play it again, Sam"?
What character?
What character says, "Play it again, Sam"?
The woman,
I need
the leading lady.
I need a name.
Okay. What is her name? I want multiple choice.
Is it Victor Laszlo, Ilsa Lund, Rick Blaine, or nobody?
Oh,
Oh,
I
say
gave
it
you
again?
the easy one.
Say it again.
Victor
I gave you only
Laz-
one choice.
Victor Laszlo, Ilsa Lund, Rick Blaine, or nobody?
Nobody.
Yeah, you got it. Nobody says "Play it again, Sam."
Correct.
Is that what you would have answered, James?
Yep.
James, what is the name
Mhm.
of the actor whose character claimed to have eaten the liver of a census taker with fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Hannibal Lecter.
I need the name of the actor. Sorry.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, correct.
That's
Wow,
correct.
very informal.
That was your gimme.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
So Zach, you will get a gimme also after this.
What was the Kubrick one?
The Kubrick one?
That wasn't a gimme. 2001.
Oh, I
director?
thought you meant gimme because he gave me the character name and then I let
Oh,
him
I have
answer
no
again.
problem with that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, that was fair. I
Okay.
don't want you to be that much of a stickler.
Why not?
Is Sir Stanley Kubrick?
No, he's not. He's not even British.
He seems British.
Well, he lived in England for most of his life, but he
You can't be
definitely
knighted
American.
unless you're British.
Americans aren't allowed to take titles.
Yeah.
It's in the Constitution.
Do you guys get those dumb ads on Facebook
Who
where
said
you
anything
can own
about
a square
American?
foot of Scotland and become a lord?
Yeah.
Do you see those? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, can't you just buy a title?
Yeah.
That's what these
We have to buy
companies are
land.
saying, is that they'll sell you a square foot of Scotland, and then that makes you a lord and all that.
Right.
I
if-
would have
if you
bought
do
that for my
you're
dad.
like defecting from the U.S. or what's the?
I don't think you're like renouncing your citizenship or
You're not
anything
supposed to have a title, right?
It's probably the same as like buying a star. You know, everyone owns the same square foot.
That's not real. Buying a star isn't real.
Okay, the people in America who cannot have titles are a person holding office, a profit, or trust. They can't accept any present, emolument, office, or title, or of any kind from any king, prince, or foreign state.
Yes, none of our presidents recently have accepted any annulments.
Okay, so
Never
normal
happens.
people can have a title.
Correct.
Unless you're holding an office of profit or trust.
Nope.
Which means if you own a business.
Sure.
Oh, you guys own businesses.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I can be Lord Kyle Peterson. You're just.
I don't
my
own a business. I'm
peasants.
just freelance.
You don't have an LLC?
No.
Oh.
I probably should.
Zach, do you have an LLC?
I'm not going to discuss my business ventures.
Oh, you guys don't even pay taxes, do you?
Yes. Trust me, I pay
Jeez.
taxes.
Okay. All right. This question is to Zach. What flavor of Pop-Tarts does Buddy the Elf...
Hold on. Did James get that right?
Yeah, he got 2 points for Sir Anthony Hopkins. Or Anthony Hopkins.
That was a long
Yeah.
time ago. Okay, what flavor of Pop-Tarts?
What flavor of Pop-Tarts does Buddy the Elf use in his spaghetti in Elf? And I know you love Elf trivia.
Yeah, I'm bad at Elf trivia. Do you know I played the Pop-Tarts card game tonight?
I did not know that.
Kellogg's makes a card game for Pop-Tarts, and I played it tonight, and it's fun.
Is it like collecting Pop-Tarts and making sets?
Yes.
Okay.
Similar to that, yeah.
Okay.
There's a never-ending conveyor belt to Pop-Tarts, of which you select which Pop-Tart you're gonna take, and then you try to get the high-value Pop-Tarts.
Do you guys know I don't like Pop-Tarts?
I didn't know that.
I ate a lot of dry, untoasted Pop-Tarts as a kid, and it kind of turned me off from them.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
You gotta toast it.
I know, but you know, I was lazy and I was hungry, and it was like late for school.
This game posited that you have two options when it comes to Pop-Tarts. One is to toast it, and the other one is to freeze it. I've never heard of someone freezing a
Oh.
Pop-Tart.
I'm intrigued by frozen Pop-Tart.
No.
So
Who
if
wants
anyone
to
listening,
eat frozen dough?
Oh, you haven't had frozen? Have you? You haven't had like frozen cookie dough?
Frodo, James?
No.
James, you
If
haven't
anyone
lived
listening
yet.
has frozen a Pop-Tart, let me know. I want to know if it's actually good.
Please
What do
write
you
in.
like? Eat it like a popsicle? How do you eat frozen
Oh,
dough?
you don't like lick it.
You lick it. Yeah, no, you do. You lick it. for
Everyone
sure.
knows when you freeze a solid, it turns to frozen liquid, and you can lick it. That's just science right there. It's
physics. Yeah.
It's called yeah, whatever. Moving
What's
on.
it called, Kyle?
What's it called when you transubstantiate? No, that's what Jesus did.
That's what. Yeah,
What-
transubstantiation.
What is it called when you sublimation? That's the word I'm going for.
Okay.
When a solid goes right to the gas phase without
Yeah.
becoming liquid. Yeah, you can sublimate your Pop-Tarts in the freezer.
Hmm.
Okay.
What's my question?
This is Buddy the Elf. What kind of Pop-Tarts did he use in his spaghetti?
I don't know,
Mhm.
but I will guess brown sugar.
Brown sugar's incorrect.
Okay.
James, strawberry, chocolate fudge, s'mores, or brown sugar cinnamon.
Ooh, I should ask for multiple choice.
Can you give me it again?
Yeah, strawberry, chocolate fudge, s'mores, or brown sugar cinnamon.
Honestly, after all the conversation, I forgot we could choose multiple choice.
Chocolate fudge, maybe? I don't know.
Chocolate fudge is correct. Good job, James.
Correct.
James,
Yes.
in what year did filmmaker Satyajit Ray win an Oscar for Lifetime Achievement, thus becoming the first Indian to receive an honorary Oscar?
Oh, the question is what year?
In what year did filmmaker Satyajit Ray win an Oscar for Lifetime Achievement, thus becoming the first Indian to receive an honorary Oscar?
For Panther Pangile.
Oh, he made Panther Pangile?
I believe so.
Or Pather? It's not. There's no N in it.
Yeah, Panther Pangile.
Pather Pangile.
I think so.
What year?
What
Well,
year?
I could just guess a year, or at least I could get 4 options. So
Those
I'll
are
take
your
4
two
options.
choices. Yes.
I'll take 4 options.
1979, 1982, 1992, or 1995.
1992.
Ooh, correct.
Ooh.
Ooh. Zach, which Disney film currently holds the record for most DVD sales in history as of 2020?
Multiple
Wow.
choice, please.
Cars, Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, or Frozen?
It's what Disney movie?
What Disney movie? Correct.
That's hard because some of those are Pixar, which is owned by Disney, so I don't know how that works. I'll just say Frozen.
Frozen is incorrect.
Okay.
James,
Can
Cars.
you give me the options?
Yes. Cars, Toy Story 2, or Finding Nemo. Or Frozen, if you want to guess that one again. It is an option.
Cars.
Incorrect. Finding Nemo.
Mm.
Almost
Oh.
39 million copies. Yes, they are Pixar, but Disney owned Pixar by that point.
Sure. I just don't know if you consider them a Disney DVD.
It's not me to consider, it's the game to consider.
It's
I
the
didn't write these
trivia
questions.
writer.
Yeah. No, I just might have philosophical differences with the game.
So when you log on to Disney Plus and watch a Pixar movie, your mind's blown. Like, what's it doing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time.
Do you think you found a hack? You're like, oh, guys, I got Pixar. Do you guys have that?
I mean, Disney was distributing Pixar movies from day one, so
Yeah, they didn't. I mean,
they've always
Was-
been involved in the brand. in a
did they
weird way.
buy after Toy Story, or was Ants, or was A Bug's Life also strictly Pixar?
Don't remember.
Because definitely Toy Story
I felt
2
like they were even
was Disney
more
Pixar.
more movies. Yeah, they were like 4 or 5 movies in when Disney officially bought them.
Yeah. Okay. James, what movie was the first Disney Pixar release? I was joking. American Graffiti was not the title Universal executives wanted for the George Lucas film. They instead suggested
Something stupid related to Star Wars, I'm sure, but I'm going to take the multiple choice.
this is one of my least favorite multiple choices. As a teacher, I would never write this, so I apologize. Modesto Nights, Howlin' at the Moon, Rock Around the Block, or none of the above. Exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We locked up. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. do you want do you want the whole question or just the multiple choice?
The whole question.
Okay. American Graffiti was not the title Universal executives wanted for the George Lucas film. They instead suggested Modesto Nights, Howlin' at the Moon, Rock Around the Block, or none of the above.
That's very difficult.
Yeah,
I wish there wasn't a none of the above.
this is a poorly
Um,
written question.
Let's do Rock Around the Block.
That's a good choice, and it is correct.
Correct.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
cars
it
driving
sounds-
around.
Sounds the dumbest. So
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, Rock Around the
That's
Block.
correct.
It makes sense. It's the 50s. They're driving cars.
No, I get
it
it.
all works. It's stupid.
Do you know I was born in Modesto?
Yeah. Are you telling me or the listeners?
I didn't know that.
I'm telling James.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you've
So-
mentioned it, but I didn't retain it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how are we halfway through?
I don't know how many cards we've done. I just know how many points we have.
Okay. I mean, there says 50 cards. I feel like I've done just over half.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm enjoying
Let's
myself.
keep going then. Zach, which Canadian actor starred in the 2016 superhero film Deadpool?
Sure. Multiple actors in that film.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but which
you
Canadian
can't get
actor
this.
starred?
What's that?
Which Canadian actor starred?
Sure. Well, it's been a while since I've seen Deadpool, so let me run through the cast of characters for a second.
Jesus.
Okay. I'm going to say Ryan Reynolds.
Correct. Ryan Reynolds.
Took me that long to remember his name.
Your other choices were Ryan Gosling, Will Arnett, or William Shatner.
As Deadpool.
William Shatner. James, which
Yes.
film was actor Mike Myers not in? Just give me any
Which
movie he
film?
was
Oh,
not in.
that's easy. That's
Was
easy.
Mike
James.
Myers not in?
That is so easy.
That is a crap question.
Star Wars.
Would you like multiple choice?
I have to have multiple
Okay.
choice.
Austin Powers in Goldmember,
He's in that.
Anchorman, Shrek,
it's my
or The
question.
Love Guru.
Wait, what? Give me the list again.
Austin Powers in Goldmember,
He's in
Anchorman,
that.
Shrek, or The Love Guru.
Anchorman.
Correct.
That's correct.
You didn't guess. You could have guessed Anchorman. That was one of you. You
I
know
don't
he's
know
not
how
in
I
that.
didn't think of that. I literally watched that movie 2 nights ago. I watched it Christmas Eve. It was great. I held up.
Is it a Christmas movie?
It just happened to be on TV.
Nice. I got that for Christmas.
My
on Blu-ray.
nephew has never seen it, or had never seen it, and he enjoyed it.
Nice.
Zach, what is the last line from Gone with the Wind?
No, that's not the question.
It
is
is. Sorry, it is. Technically, the question is the last line from Gone with the Wind is.
Okay, can I say part of the line?
I need the entire line with punctuation.
All right, then I'm gonna have to go multiple choice.
All right. I'm curious to know what you think the line is. Okay, tell me now, just for fun, what do you think the line is? This is not for any points. You still got
I
multiple
think
choice.
it's the "Frankly, my dear." I think it's that line.
Okay. All right, so your choices are tomorrow never knows, I can't go on, I'll go on. After all, tomorrow is another day. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I think it's that one.
Which
I
one?
think it's the last one, the last option.
I need you to I need to hear it.
Why?
please.
No, I think it's the last option.
Well, I think that you're wrong. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I did think it was that.
It's not that.
it's not frankly, my
No.
dear, I don't give a damn.
What is it?
Would you like to
Do you
guess?
want to make a guess?
Oh, what are the other 3 other than that one?
Tomorrow never knows. I can't go on. I'll go on. I'm sure that's said with some acting to it. Or after all, tomorrow is another day.
The I can't go on, I'll go on is so clunky that it's probably the actual line, because written it probably reads very different than how it was performed. So I will go, I can't go on, I'll go on.
Incorrect.
No.
Pretty sure that's in the middle of the movie when everything goes to pot for her. The
Is
last,
that when the fire burns down her house?
or maybe when the crops are dying.
Okay.
The last line is, after all, tomorrow is another day. Is that the first one that neither of you have gotten a point on?
No.
No?
Mm,
Okay. James, who voiced
Yes.
Woody in the Toy Story movies?
Thomas Hanks.
Is Thomas his actual first name?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that his
That-
brother
That's correct.
does all Okay, thanks, James. His brother does all the voice acting for the merchandise.
That's
Really?
So like for the dolls you buy that you pull a string and it says, "There's a snake in my boot." His brother does all that.
No.
Does his brother do the short films also, like the 20-minute
I don't think so.
spin-offs?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess on like a tiny speaker, you can't tell the difference between Tom Hanks and
Yeah.
Tom Hanks' brother.
Yeah, I think it's him. Just I'm gonna take care of my brother.
Yeah. Zach, what was the highest grossing movie of 1984?
Well, that's actually gettable.
This is a
Multiple choice.
is a
multiple
tough one.
choice. Multiple choice.
Go-
I think you can
Ghostbusters.
get it without it.
No.
Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins.
You can eliminate 2 of those right away.
I don't know. I'll say Ghostbusters.
Incorrect.
Indiana
All right,
Jones.
James, you can eliminate 2. I said 1. What do you got?
Indiana Jones.
Incorrect. Beverly Hills Cop. You guys are doubting the box
What?
office of Eddie Murphy.
No. No.
Eddie Murphy, 1984. Like that is peak Eddie Murphy right there.
You're right. He
No.
was way bigger than Harrison Ford or Dan Aykroyd in the 80s.
I'm just gonna say it again. Eddie Murphy.
Bill Murray in the 80s.
Yeah. Who? Name one other Bill Murray movie from the 80s. Just one. James, the spaceship towers that the antagonist of Men in Black seeks to use to escape Earth are real-life structures in which Queens, New York park?
What?
You remember at the end of Men in Black, there's these two big towers with like saucer-like things on top of them, and they're real-life towers. And who's the guy?
The bug guy.
The bug guy, who's a actor we all know whose name.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. He's trying to get to those towers to escape. Okay, are you picturing that?
I'm picturing Vincent D'Onofrio, but I don't remember any towers. But I believe you.
Kyle, could you provide more context for him?
Yeah.
for the
So
question?
okay,
just so that he has
Men in Black.
maybe initials.
It's a movie from 1996. It's about a secret society of alien protectors and hunters.
I don't want him to go into this blind. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to like set the stage.
Please.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's just trying to give me hints about
Okay.
the answer to
Well,
the question,
yeah,
Zach. Jeez,
okay.
let him go.
Would you like the multiple choice? Because I really think that my hints are going to help you answer this question.
Okay.
Okay.
I
It's
want
like
multiple
saucer
choice because I don't
towers.
remember him.
All right. So this is a Queens, New York park. Is it Queensbridge Park, Astoria Park, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, or Elmhurst Park? Now, I'm sorry if I gave it away with the setup. So, Zach,
I'm going to
you
go
can-
with the first one.
Queenbridge Park is incorrect.
Sure.
Zach?
No.
Can I hear the options again?
Yeah, Queenbridge Park, Astoria Park, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, or Elmhurst Park.
He doesn't know either. It's a total
The
guess.
third one.
Flushing Meadows, Corona Park?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry that I gave you so many hints with that setup. 1
Is that
point.
correct
Yeah,
or
that's,
not?
That's correct. Yeah, 1 point to Zach.
Thank you.
Zach, in the original 1971 version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Gene Wilder beat out which actor for the lead?
Oh man, I'm gonna go multiple choice.
Fred Astaire, Robert Redford, Buddy Hackett, or Mickey Rooney?
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Nice.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incorrect.
Oh
I thought you were just
No.
like, Mickey Rooney? Yeah.
no, I gave myself a point.
Give me the options again.
Take that point away. Fred Astaire, Robert Redford, Buddy Hackett, or Mickey Rooney?
I feel like Fred Astaire is too old by then.
Okay.
How about Buddy Hackett?
Fred Astaire, and I agree, would
Really?
have been way too old for that movie.
No.
Yeah.
It would have been him hobbling out, and then there would be no car. I just spilled my water all over myself.
Oops. Do you need to clean it up?
Can we leave this in?
Yeah,
Sure.
just running down my pants now.
Do you
Kyle,
need a second?
stand up so that the YouTube viewers can see
Now
what
we
it looks
froze
like
up.
had you peed your pants during the podcast.
Let me.
Like, they'll know that you didn't, but
No, I'm gonna go get a towel really quick and
Okay.
are you
clean
gonna
up.
hobble to a towel?
I'm gonna hobble to a towel. You guys banter
Okay.
amongst yourself for a minute.
All right.
All right. So those of you who watch it on YouTube will see him waddle away like a penguin. Can you imagine if Buddy Hackett was Willy Wonka?
I don't even know who Buddy Hackett is, to be honest. Who is that?
You absolutely would recognize his face.
Really? I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure you'd recognize his face.
Buddy
He's-
Hackett. It sounds like a name I've heard before, but
You don't
um,
recognize him?
Instead of typing, yeah, I do recognize him. I don't really like him.
He's a little broad.
Yeah. I've seen him in The Love Bug, in The Music Man, in It's a Mad, Mad World.
He plays Scuttle in The Little Mermaid.
The voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not the bird model.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against the guy, but I wouldn't say he's top tier for me.
Where's he rank? Of all-time favorite actors, just what number rank would you put him at?
Like 1168.
11. So not even the top 1,000.
No.
But definitely in the top 2,000.
Are we using actors as in male and female together?
Yes.
Yeah, 1168 for sure.
Okay, so top tier second 1,000.
Sure.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Very
Kyle's
nice.
back.
Hi, Kyle.
Hey.
At least
Where's
you,
Buddy
at least you didn't
Hackett?
dump it on your laptop. That would have been worse.
No, it's just on my lap. So it is on the top of my lap, unfortunately.
So do you still have a wet crotch?
Oh, it's
Oh.
yes. There is much wetness in the lower half. But I'm a true professional, so I'm gonna stick it out.
All right.
No matter
At least
how
we have our
clammy
our
I feel
Instagram
right now.
video.
Yeah, so you need to take a photo of your crotch and put it on
Put
Instagram.
it on. Hashtag
People want to know.
crotch. Hashtag thirst trap.
This is the behind the scenes they've been waiting for.
Finally want to see what my wet crotch in sweatpants looks like.
Really? Is this our podcast now?
It really is, Zach. Just accept it.
Finally. All right. Well, back
Who's
to
next?
something. I don't even. Who was?
Buddy Hackett. I guessed about the Gene Wilder. He got it wrong. It's his question.
Okay. No. And you guessed not Fred Astaire, and it was Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
And then I was
exactly.
making motions. I spilled the water. Here we go. Okay, we're back.
It's my
Okay.
question.
Your question.
Is anyone curious what the score is right now?
I'm really curious to know. I mean, we have probably this says 50, but I feel like we've another 20 to go. So
Okay. Should I let it just breathe and I'll tell you at the end?
yeah,
Yeah.
Let it percolate.
Okay.
I feel like someone's running away with it, but I don't know. James, for what
Yes.
movie did Steven Spielberg win his first Oscar for Best Director?
Schindler's List.
Correct for 2 points.
Correct.
Well done.
James, not James, Zach, what was Quentin Tarantino's first feature film as writer-director?
Reservoir Dogs.
Correct.
That
James?
card's wrong, but
What you think
Wait,
that's
what'd
wrong?
you say?
yeah, you made a movie before Reservoir Dogs. It was not released, but it
Was
a feature
this was
length movie
first
that he wrote and
feature
directed.
film? If your movie doesn't get released, is it still considered
not
a feature
featured.
film?
I don't know. Is it?
I would say no because it can't be featured.
So it's just a film at that point.
It's
not
just a
feature
film. Yes. If this had said his first film, then you would have had a case.
I'll accept that.
James, the 1933 King Kong's roar is the sound of what played in reverse?
I don't know. So I'll take multiple choice. Sounds like a fan, maybe, or something. I don't know.
A
Multiple choice.
lion, a trumpet, the ocean, or a bass violin, which is the double bass, upright bass. No one calls it the bass violin.
Interesting. I'll go lion played backwards.
Correct.
Wow. Well
Correct.
done. Well done,
What a
James.
guess.
Zach, which of the following is not the only film? Wait, let me read it again. Which of the following is the only film to not star Keanu Reeves? I need a film that does not star Keanu Reeves.
I can think of many, but I want multiple choice.
All right. The Matrix,
Okay.
Johnny Mnemonic,
Okay.
My Own Private Idaho, or Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
You don't know the answer to this?
I'm a little
Not offhand.
I'm a little surprised.
Ridiculous.
I'm gonna go with Speed 2.
Speed 2 Cruise Control?
Yes.
Yeah,
that one.
correct. Yes.
That's correct.
Sandy B's in that one, but
Famously doesn't have Keanu Reeves in it.
no John. Oh,
I
and
mean-
Willem Dafoe's in that one too.
Famously, but it's Speed 2, so it's not that famous. I hadn't seen Johnny Mnemonic, and I was trying to remember if that's the Keanu Reeves movie or the Billy Crystal movie.
What's the Billy Crystal one you're thinking of?
Billy Crystal.
Doesn't Billy Crystal have a double movie, like where it's clones of him or something?
You're thinking Multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
And
I
giant
thought you
mnemonic
would.
is not a
I thought you
quote
were
movie.
thinking of like Virtuosity with what's his name from Gladiator.
Oh,
Russell?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, that
You
to
know
me
what?
is
There's-
closer to Johnny Mnemonic than anything.
There are some actors that you always say their full name, like Russell Crowe.
What are
But
you gonna
like,
say?
I do not think of Russell Crowe as a Russell.
Like he's just Russell Crowe to you.
Yeah, he's Russell Crowe, but like, think of him calling him Russell. That's
Do
weird.
you think it goes by Russ? Like
Rusty.
what do people does it weird you out when you see actors in an interview and they talk about another actor but they use an informal name with them? Like when people call
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock Sandy and you're like, "Oh, that's right. She has friends in a name that's not
Does
Sandra
it
Bullock."
weird me out? No, it doesn't weird me out.
It kind of weirds me out when I hear like an actor refer to another actor with their
I mean, I
informal
might
name.
note it. Like, oh, interesting.
Like Emma Stone, her name is Emily, and everyone that knows her calls her Emily.
Yeah.
Emma's just her stage name.
What do you mean? Everybody that knows her?
Like people that work
I mean,
with
like
her.
in her normal life, she'll say like, "Hello, my name's Emily." People call her Emily. She's Emma Stone. Like, that's her work name that is on credits, but people don't call her Emma in her life.
Sure. Okay.
All right. I think this question is for James.
Yes.
Oh, they really love these questions. What was the real name of the first MGM lion?
So easy.
I feel like it was Leon, but I'm probably gonna take multiple choice.
Okay. Was it King, Goldwyn, Big Boy, or Slats?
Well, it wasn't Leon, that's for sure.
Or Leon, if you really want to choose it.
give me him one more time.
King, Goldwyn, Big Boy, or Slats?
This is a total guess. Just because I have to give you something, I'm gonna go with Goldwyn.
Incorrect. Zach?
King.
No.
Incorrect. Slats.
No.
Slats the lion.
Terrible name for a lion.
Yeah,
Terrible
who names
name.
their name? Who names their lion Slats?
Not me.
MGM, apparently. You know. Louis
Not
Mayer.
me.
I don't think they owned the lion. I think they rented the lion.
You rent a lion?
Well, you think they bought a lion?
I mean,
No, and then stored it after they filmed that one clip.
yeah, then they just kept it in the basement
No,
behind
they.
slats.
It was a hired lion for sure.
Zach. Yeah. In 1993's The Remains of the Day, Anthony Hopkins' character is which of the following?
I've never heard of that movie.
Okay.
I want to hear the multiple choice.
You've never even heard of that movie?
I've never heard of Remains.
You've
of
never
the Day.
heard the title?
No.
Hmm.
Have you?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
braggy
about it.
brag.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I've
it, but I've
heard of
certainly
it.
heard the name.
Heard of it. Is he a butler, a doctor, a groundskeeper, or a poet?
You didn't even know it.
He's a doctor.
And you are wrong, James.
What are the three options?
Butler, doctor, groundskeeper, or poet?
What did Zach say?
He said doctor.
All right, that's what I was about to say. So he's either a groundskeeper, a poet, or a what?
Butler.
He's probably a poet.
He's probably a butler.
Oh,
No.
That was my last choice.
He's got Hopkins can slum it. He doesn't have to be, he can go for butler. James,
All right.
who was the main character in A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Freddy. Krueger.
Freddy what? Freddy Krueger
Freddy
is
Krueger.
correct. 2 points to James.
That's correct.
Can you spell that for me, please?
Well done.
Zach, in the climactic scene of the film Independence Day, Russell Case destroys the alien mothership after saying which of the following lines?
I'm going to need multiple choice.
Hello, boys. I'm back. Honey, I'm home. I'm back, baby. Or welcome to Earth.
I'll say the first one.
What's the first one?
Is it like, well, I'm back, or Hey babies, or what is the
they're,
line?
they're all that. Okay, let me read
Okay,
that to you again.
read the first one. What do you mean? What is the first? Just read it.
Hello,
That's what I
boys.
picked.
I'm back.
Why is that a question for you? Like just whatever the first one is.
I don't know. I feel
Hello
like,
boys, I'm
I
back.
feel like you're not putting,
Hello boys,
you're
I'm
not putting
back.
your heart
That's
into
my
it. You're just
guess.
like, the 1st
I'm
one.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm not.
1 point for you.
Okay.
Correct.
James, in the
Yes.
film, in what film do Robert De Niro and Al Pacino star but never appear in the same scene?
Heat.
Incorrect.
No.
Zach, would you like the multiple choice? I guess you get the multiple choice. Correct?
No. Oh yeah, I do get it. I'm probably gonna guess Godfather 2 once you read it. But
Okay.
multiple choice.
Is it Godfather : part line, Heat, Righteous Kill, or The Irishman?
Godfather : part line.
Yeah, part 2, correct. Yes.
I can't believe they have Irishman on here. That's a very new movie. These are
well,
new,
that's
new
very
guys.
new.
I mean,
Yeah.
they had a 2020 question, so yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this was printed in the last year.
yeah. This is a post-COVID trivia deck
I know. Yeah, this is probably like the most recent trivia we've played
ever.
yet on this show.
This exists. I posit that this exists only because of COVID.
This trivia game?
Probably.
That someone had extra time on their hands and made this, what they wouldn't have normally had.
This is definitely made in a different country, and here's the description on the back. These questions will trigger some movie memories. Questions like, what was the name of the fictional high school in the 1979 movie Grease? Answers are given as multiple choice.
Why is that a different country?
It doesn't seem like anyone would who spoke English as a first language would write sentences like that.
I disagree, and
Okay.
I'm going to give you a reason. The same person that wrote the box wrote all these questions,
Mhm.
and all these questions have seemed normal questions
Mhm.
by a fluent speaker of English.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Counter argument?
My counter argument is
It did feel like
Obviously, it was
there was
it
a
was
little bit
obviously
of
printed in
awkwardness in the
China.
back of the box.
there's what?
There was a little bit of awkwardness in that description.
Yeah, I thought it was a little
I don't know where it was,
I-
but it felt.
I think it was poorly written, but these questions don't seem to be like someone whose English is not their first language.
I agree with that, but I also think somebody different could have written the thing on the box.
Yeah, they
Okay.
like hire out their marketing team to Indonesia. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. This question is for
James.
James. In what movie does Donald Trump perform a cameo of himself?
Hold on. Wasn't the last question the Heat one?
Yes. The
then
no
it's
the
Zach.
the last question was Robert De Niro. Was that for
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
James got that question.
Zach, this is for you.
Okay.
In what movie does Donald Trump perform a cameo as himself?
Home Alone 2,
Correct.
Lost in New York.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was just Home Alone 2. James, in The
Yes.
Matrix, what color pill does Neo take?
The red pill.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I hated
Well
how
done,
often
James.
they brought up pills in the new one too.
Oh,
yeah.
the
They were like
choices
constantly
and,
shoving pills in people's faces.
Yeah.
and like the big pile of blue pills, and you're like, here's blue pills. You guys get it?
All the pill is a tracer program, right?
Correct.
In the
yes.
original movie. I feel like they could touch them with the pill and trace that. I mean, like they're like, it's so essential that you eat it. And did it make Morpheus like high or something when he took it? He was like acting loopy
In this.
in the new one.
the
In
new
the
one?
new one.
Oh yeah, he put the weird sunglasses on.
Yeah, well, he took it and then he was like going in the wrong doors and being goofy.
Oh,
I didn't know what that
Oh,
was.
I liked the sequence when they were running through doors, and each door was on a different gravity plane.
Yeah,
I thought that was
cool.
actually pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
There's so little of it, but it was
It
cool.
was, but it was like because that was an idea that they used. James shaking his head. They used the doors in the sequels, but they didn't use them to the fact of like when you went through a door, it would then switch the direction of gravity. I thought that was a cool addition. I wish there was more of take what's good and then how can we expand on that.
Yeah.
Yep. We are down to the last handful here.
All right.
James, which?
Yes.
I think it's my question.
No, because you got the Home Alone.
just did the Home
and
Alone
you got
one.
the pill. Nope, it's back to Zach. You're correct.
Back to
You
Zach.
did the red pill.
Yep.
That's why we're talking
Zach,
about the
it's your
Matrix.
turn. Gosh. Get with it.
Geez, Zach. Which notorious football star was considered for the role of the Terminator?
A multiple choice.
Jim Brown, Dick Butkus, Michael Singletary, or O.J. Simpson?
O.J. Simpson.
That's correct. Yes.
What a different world it would have been.
O.J. Simpson as the Terminator.
Oh my goodness.
You think Nicole would be alive if that was the case?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because he would have had money for better security, and no one could have broken in and murdered her in the first place.
You're right.
No, I do not believe that. Don't worry.
Joke was less funny. Yeah, just the ripple effects. I mean, everything would have been different.
I don't know. I still think he would have been the same jealous person whether he was the Terminator or not. I don't think it would change his personality.
But no, but it would. I don't know. Everything would be different.
I mean, we wouldn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger as a star.
I think Donald Trump wouldn't have been president if O.J. Simpson was the Terminator.
You think we'd live in a better world if O.J. Simpson was a Terminator?
I don't know. I have no idea.
No Trump president. Nicole Brown will still be alive. John
Maybe
Bonet
O.J. would be president.
aging gracefully if O.J. was president.
All right. What do we got?
This one is for James.
Yes.
What year did Dr. Emmett Brown and Marty McFly travel to in Back to the Future Part 2?
You mean when they went to the future?
What year did you could take a guess or you could ask for a multiple choice. I want to know what year they traveled to in Back to the Future Part 2.
I feel like maybe it was 2021.
Is that a guess?
I'm gonna get a multiple choice.
2021, 2019, 2015, or 2012?
It is 2021. I don't know why I think that, but I think that maybe it was 2019. Probably 2019.
I need a guess. You're just saying numbers now.
Well, at least there are two numbers that are choices. Let's see. How about 2021?
2015.
Yeah, just waiting for you to say the wrong
No.
answer was taking.
2015.
I'm sorry, Zach. The answer is October 21st, 2015. That's the actual answer on the card.
It has what year that it has a date?
And that is the full dates, yes.
That's awesome.
All right, Zach. For his performance in which film did Leonardo DiCaprio finally win the Academy Award for Best Actor? You tell me that an English speaker wrote that question.
Read it again.
For his
I don't believe that English speaker read the question.
Okay, I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it as written.
Okay.
For his performance in which film did Leonardo DiCaprio finally win the Academy Award for Best Actor?
That's proper English.
That's proper
I think
English?
that's awkward. Here, I would say
Okay.
it's awkwardly written, but not in the way that someone who doesn't speak English as their first language would mess it up.
Okay.
It's just awkwardly written. That's what I think.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm right. Just one man's opinion.
All right.
Floating in the dust. The Revenant.
Correct.
Correct.
James, this is your final question.
Okay, I'm ready. Is this worth 10 points?
No, this is worth 2 without multiple choice and 1 with.
That's no fun.
Indiana Jones. Okay, again, I'm reading it as written.
Indiana Jones, yes.
Indiana Jones, took his nickname after which childhood pet?
Wait, what?
Indiana Jones, took his nickname after which childhood pet?
I'm pretty
Again.
sure that's a misprint, not like a badly formed question. So
suddenly it's like Google Translate.
Exactly.
I do know the answer. It's
Okay.
George Lucas's dog.
I'll accept dog.
Yeah.
Yes, dog.
Correct.
All right, Zach, your final question. Who was the director of Pink Floyd, The Wall?
Isn't that an album?
It's also a movie.
too.
Okay. I've never heard a Pink Floyd song.
Yes, you have. Every time.
So I'm not sure if that is gonna help me.
You've heard of Another Brick in the Wall, haven't you?
No.
Yes, you
that
have.
doesn't ring a bell.
All in
No.
all, we're just another brick in the wall. You've heard of Money?
No.
You-
The Currency I've heard of.
Yeah, you've heard Money.
I've never heard Money. I've never heard that first one with bricks in the wall.
Yes,
That seems
you
odd.
have.
No, I absolutely haven't.
Oh my goodness.
I only know Pink Floyd for two reasons.
Okay.
One, I know if you play it while watching The Wizard of Oz, there's supposed to be some coincidences.
Which is an urban legend.
And
It's
I
not
also
an urban
know
legend.
Well, I mean,
You can actually play it, and there's coincidences.
it seems it's pretty.
That's
yes,
what
it's
coincidences
it's a
mean,
coincidence. Yes, there are coincidences, but
it's urban
It's not
legend that they
intentional.
wrote it against the score
okay.
of the movie.
Thank you. That's
but
the urban legend.
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
The other thing I know is that Douglas Adams really liked The Who or Pink Floyd.
Who?
Are those different? Those are different,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The Who and Pink Floyd are different.
Okay. He really liked one of them. And he, I think, played guitar with one of them for fun. So that's literally the only thing I know about Pink Floyd. I can't tell you what genre of music they are. I'm going to assume it's, I have no idea. So I'm not going to guess.
They're psychedelic rock.
Okay.
if
Are
that
they
helps.
new wave?
Are they? No, they are pre-new wave.
Old
Okay.
wave.
I just heard a new wave song and I was like, I could get into this.
Like from the 80s, like Soft Cell.
I don't know what that means, but it was pretty cheesy.
Was it Tainted Love?
No, it wasn't.
What-
It wasn't.
what was
It
the
was
song?
who is who's the guy that you guys love, like Nick Grohl or what's his name?
Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl. He was in a new wave band before.
You're talking
was
about
in some
Trent
other band.
Reznor, and you're talking about the Split Bananas or something like that.
Yeah,
one?
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Dave Grohl was in a band before Nirvana that was called like Sleep or something like that. But that
It
was
wasn't that. It was Trent Reznor.
That was
This
a
was
punk
Trent
band.
Reznor.
yeah, okay.
Who I don't know the difference between Dave Grohl and Trent Reznor, except Trent Reznor is like doing a lot of soundtracks these days for some reason.
Yeah.
And Nick Grohl will literally
Dave
do a
Grohl.
YouTube video.
You're
Dave
taking- not
Grohl.
Nick Kroll, Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl will literally do a YouTube video at the drop of a hat.
Well-
Like he's just constantly doing YouTube videos.
He's also
of
in
parodies
Foo
of
Fighters,
stuff.
like probably the biggest living rock band right now.
No.
Yeah.
No. Foo Fighters is not the biggest living rock band right now.
I think they might, from like a money perspective,
Yeah,
popularity
yeah.
perspective. I would say that's true.
Really?
I would say they're the most popular rock band currently.
They're like
Yeah.
Foo
one of the
Fighters?
only
Fighters,
bands
yeah.
that survived the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s.
Like, because rock is not I mean, it's not underground, but like it is not pop music anymore.
Yeah.
So
That, like,
That's true.
the kids aren't listening to rock unless it's Foo Fighters.
rock music almost never breaks the top 100, whereas 25 years ago, they were the top 10.
What's a Foo Fighters song? The name of a famous Foo Fighters song.
My Hero,
Yeah. There goes my
Never
hero.
heard of it.
Everlong,
Never heard of that.
Monkey, Wrench.
Wrench. I'll
Okay,
stick around.
Do they have any like famous ones?
Yeah, I would
Those
say
are
My
all
Hero
famous.
is probably their most famous one. Or
I,
Everlong.
are
none of
all-
those ring a bell.
You if
What's
we
a
played
lyric
them,
that I
you'd
would
know
recognize?
Learning to Fly.
them. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds very late 90s.
Okay, we need to do a Patreon where we just play songs for Zach that he thinks he's never heard before. He goes, "Oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song." And that I just want 20 minutes of
Well,
that.
it's
Sure.
well, I think back to Pink Floyd.
Okay, so
Yep.
back to the wall. Do you have a guess
I
on who the
have-
director is?
No, I want multiple choice.
Is it Danny Boyle, Woody Allen, Oliver Stone, or Alan Parker?
Does it say a year that it came out?
It does not, but I can tell you that it came out either in the late 70s or 1980.
Oliver Stone.
Incorrect.
No.
Alan Parker.
Alan Parker is correct. Did you know that, or is that
Correct.
process of
Who
elimination?
is Alan Parker?
I knew
The
it
director
wasn't
of Pink
any
Floyd
of the
The
other
Wall.
three.
That's it. That is all 50
All
as
right,
they claim trivia cards.
James, how
Nice.
do you think you did?
I think I did okay. I don't think it was a complete blowout, but I think you probably beat me.
You think I beat you? You did okay. It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah.
Kyle, what'd you think?
I think that Zach won substantially.
Okay.
He thinks it was a blowout.
Kyle, I need a ruling because I'm not sure on a specific score. At one point, I spelled Catherine Bigelow, and you gave me a point for spelling it correctly. Was that a joke
No,
point
that was
or
a
Yeah,
joke.
that was a joke point.
Okay. All right.
If by the way, if that was the 1 point that wins, that would be incredible.
In that case, James got 30 points, and I got 32.
What?
We
Nice.
have been neck and neck the entire game. Literally every question, it was like trading back and forth.
I mean, I think that's a mark of even trivia.
Good
then.
trivia.
Right.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, thank you to my wife for. This was actually a present for the Cinereelists. That's what's said on the wrapping. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well,
glad we could
used
share
it. We used it in record pace.
Kyle, can I put you in charge of the thank you card?
Yes, I would need you guys to. I get pretty expensive cards, so send me like $50 each, and we should be covered by that. So
Sure.
Only if you show me a receipt for a $150 thank you card.
I can spend $150, no problem.
150.
This is her thank you dinner.
No, card from Hallmark.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the trivia, Kyle. That was fun. Zach, thank you for the challenge.
You
always-
did great, James.
I always appreciate it.
Worthy competitor.
Thank
James, thanks for competing.
you. Yeah, I appreciate you thanking me.
I appreciate you too, James. And Zach, thank you for thanking James for thanking me.
You're not welcome.
Ouch. Don't forget, you can always check out the video version of this podcast on YouTube. You could follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/Cinereelists. You could leave us an Apple Podcast review, or you could send us a listener email to heyguys@cinereelists.com. Or you could follow us on all of the social media accounts. That would be Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
How's our TikTok doing?
Cinereelists. I don't know. I haven't posted another one since the
Oh.
first
You haven't posted a single thing. You literally you started it, posted the worst video in the world, and then just bounced.
I started it at a bad time. Like I started it right as like the holidays were coming, and I haven't had time to put together my TikTok masterpieces. But they're
Well,
coming. They're coming. Just
Good job, James.
Start following
video-
the Cinereelists.
Your video's been
TikTok
watched
account.
500 times.
500 even.
503.
It was at 500 like 24 hours after I posted it. I
Yeah,
feel like
'cause
yeah,
it dropped off.
terrible.
The front
I feel like
page
the
after that.
algorithm gives you like 500 free views just to see if anybody would want to watch this video,
And the answer was no.
and then they drop all the recommendations off.
Like it's just some dude's nose for 5 seconds.
And then you sell it as something and then no audio for us because you're wearing headphones.
I don't know.
It's just
It's the best.
And then nothing. 2 followers.
I can't wait until that
11
account
likes.
has 1 million followers and that people will laugh at the first video.
We should TikTok my wet pants. That'll definitely get us some views.
I dare you to TikTok your wet pants. All right, guys. Next week, we will be doing a top 10, last 10. And the week after that, we'll be doing another list. We'll be doing our top 20 of 2021. So if there's a movie out there that you don't think we've seen that you think might make one of our top 20 lists or has, a chance of making that, please send us an email. Let us know in advance so we can squeeze in a viewing of that 2021 gem.
And also start putting together your top 20 lists and send those in.
Or top
Yes.
10 or top 5.
Or those things as well. Regardless, we'll be here next week. So will you. Until then, keep it cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.